Nighthaven Labs was the dish best saved for last in the first best of 3 between these two titans. That was, of course, the decider matchup where FLUXO W7M walked away with the victory in the group stage. Now they want to serve it up first. Of course, the map that they won first ended up being banned by Oxygen, so they can't go back to a map like that, but instead Nighthaven Labs was one of the 2 maps that FLUXO were able to win in their previous matchup, so they'll bring it back out. Oxygen haven't played Nighthaven Labs since that loss, so they've been avoiding it. They know it's not been their strongest map so far this tournament. Forced to go back now against the Bulls.
We're still seeking clarification, by the way, as to whether or not we can call them the Bulls. For all intents and purposes, they are half Bull, half Flux.
They're still Bulls.
I don't know what a Flux is.
Oh, they're Fluxy Bulls.
Maybe like a centaur. Maybe they're Bull from the top half or the bottom. I don't know.
You know what? I can kind of get behind that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Though, historically, you don't want to be behind a Bull because they can kick you and they can kill you. So maybe you don't.
Noted. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. Thanks,
you are from Alberta, which is widely considered the Texas of Canada, and I know that there are bulls there. I used to live there as well.
I've seen a lot of bulls.
I have seen bulls there too. So maybe, Jesse, though you are a city boy, you might want to stay out.
You might not know this about me, Parker. I know I don't really give off that vibe, but I'm not exactly a go outside and work with animals type of guy.
What?
I know I seem like one, but I am more of a stay inside and work on Microsoft Excel type of guy.
You cable knit that sweater with your own bare hands. I know it. I know it.
Well, outside is where FLUXO W7M spawn out, of course, here attacking onto the top floor. And actually, I say that, it's not top floor. We begin basement for Oxygen. Almost every team chooses to start on the top, so I got caught off a little bit there. But Oxygen Esports are going to change things up a little bit, starting on this bottom floor, a bomb site they've defended 3 times at the Six Invitational and only won once.
For just a quick reminder before we actually get into the cut and thrust of this series, today being the day of doom means every single matchup will send one team home.
Yep.
The loser will be with us no longer. Oxygen were probably not the favorites against Team Heretics. If I remember correctly, with both of those social polls, they had the European teams. But I mean, what is more universal than dogging on North America? I get involved in that quite frequently. FLUXO W7M will be a major hurdle for the team on the right side of your screen. And while they had struggles against that Heretic squad, I think FLUXO W7M are a bit of a cut above. They will punish you far more effectively when you commit mistakes.
I mean, they're former major champions, Parker. There's no doubt that the skill this team has is through the roof. Have they been able to put it all together? Not so much in recent months, but everybody knows just how deadly this team can be. That was last season when they lifted the major trophy, and of course they did it without Palu on the squad, but many people have considered the addition of Palu an upgrade for this roster, and I would agree with that assessment coming out from a lot of our analysts. This push from FLUXO W7M has been very limited so far. It is really only happening around Kitchen Cafeteria, but it's Palu who strikes first.
The upgrade that you said was the player that I suppose they needed. Thatcher running that new DMR. That thing hits so hard. Down goes Gomez. Gomez had a pretty good run of it, and Loban destroys Yaga. Loban and Gomez merged together, almost like a centaur of both of these teams. What a portmanteau. We've got Adam on the run now. He can hear the Monty. He has an opportunity to get back towards this bomb site. Oh my goodness. Dots was very successful at shepherding these remaining defenders into a line of fight, and they have every single angle covered right now. Down goes Adam. FLUXO W7M, Jesse, are looking for a flawless start. All they need is Grixer, who will deny it, but with a 2-piece in a desperate attempt, he gets swept away, and the round goes towards the half bulls.
There's no doubt Grixer still got it, Parker. He ended both Maps 1 and Maps 2 against Heretics with an insane game-winning play, winning both of them in 12 rounds to give OXG a spot here in the lower bracket round 2 up against FLUXO W7M. It's a beautiful attack to come out from the Brazilian team. It looked like they wanted to go direct just with Cafeteria. It seemed like they didn't really want that same full map control, but Oxygen were wanting those gunfights. They wanted the smoke. We saw Gomez playing around bottom garage, hoping to get into a gunfight. We saw another early gunfight happen with Yaga going down, and so once these players started to fall, FLUXO, I think, saw it as an opportunity. Let's go take the rest of this map. Let's go clear Adam out of bottom garage as well, force him to drop. I think what Adam was doing, if you remember, just around the boxes, was he was trying to get behind the Monty in the midst of that round. Almost got away with it, but was a little bit too early just in that position our observer's watching right now. So unfortunate that Oxygen couldn't get that aggression to work for them. They will have another chance to go down to the basement, likely in round 4.
Well, we'll be watching which of the maps get played the most throughout this entire event. There's been a pretty wide spread amongst them all. Nighthaven Labs is perfectly in the middle, the 5th most played map. And like all maps except for Border, it skews in favor of the defenders. Now, it tends to be a bit more defender-sided as of late than it has before. The fun fact that I always love to bring up on the broadcast is that for a couple events, it was almost perfectly balanced. We're literally talking 50-50 on both attackers, defenders. Now, those numbers are always deceptive, Jesse, because while the map might be defender-sided, it might just be because one bomb site is incredibly defender-sided, and the rest fall in favor of the attackers.
Yeah.
That's kind of the case with Nighthaven Labs, and we'll get into that more as we see more bomb sites played by these teams.
Yeah, we kind of expect top floor to be the strongest site for most of the squads, and a lot of that comes down to the strong operators like Mira that you can use to keep these walls closed. Forrest actually doesn't use his Mira window on the IT wall. He's going to put one here for Gomez to play inside of Rafters, and then the other one is going to be looking into Connector, currently being played by Yaga, who swings out from it. Doesn't get the kill, tries to get the Selma, but misses that one as well. Really under pressure. Yaga trying to find some kind of success here, tucked in the corner. Has the hatch open if he wants to drop, but this is an awkward spot for the captain.
He's got that Scorpion in hand, a gun that has seen so much play across Ella and Denari. Denari, strangely absent. I remember OXG running that operator in the NA League, if you recall. Forrest will blow the chances of FLUXO W7M into hell with a double Nitro Cell kill onto Dotson Palu. Immediately, the Brazilians down by 2.
That is perfect. We were watching him down in the bottom floor. I was about to mention it before action got breaking out with Yaga. So really nice position from Forrest. It wasn't being expected at all. And now W7M got to go for broke.
And Dota's taking damage from the barbed wire as he's watching his teammates continue to die. Adam goes for the swing based on that intel. Not a bad decision by OXG. But they will surrender their very first pick in this round. Yaga and Grixer connected at the hip as the Clash will now try to protect Yaga as best as he can. Completely blind, but the dog uses the power of smell to determine the last position of that FLUXO W7M player. A nice closeout and enthusiasm and vibes high on this OXG team. They do tend to get stuck in the mud from time to time, especially if things go bad. So having a hype man keep the team in it is mighty, mighty good. Tie game between these two.
Yeah, really hype round coming out from OXG. I love the strategy coming through with the Mira once again, using that just to try to get a bit more information, and then it really lends Forrest to that Nitro Cell because that calling was there. They combine it with the Clash, so even after they pop open that Mira position, you've got some really good opportunities to swing around and find some of those picks on the side of OXG. So nice little way to work that aggression into their playstyle up on the top floor. It's a good start now to bounce to answer back and bounce back against FLUXO W7M. We were kind of worried that this could be a stomp, just given how good FLUXO W7M have been in the past, but I really do think Oxygen are here to play.
I completely agree. I mean, I don't think that what we saw earlier against that Team Heretics team was an aberration by any stretch of the imagination. So I expect this one to be quite competitive. I mean, you don't make it to the point where, at this point, I guess you're top 12. Mm-hmm. You don't make it to top 12 if you don't deserve to be there. I know one thing that you like to say about this OXG squad, and the desk talks about it too whenever they discuss Oxygen, is that this org has a history of success at the Six Invitational. So if you are used to finishing in a very high spot, doesn't even matter if 2 of your most legendary players are now our desk analysts, you still expect them to get there. You got to get over these tougher opponents, and boy, oh boy, FLUXO W7M is going to be the toughest opponent that this OXG team will square off against, at least to this point in Phase 2.
An early entry into the bottom floor as Lobin on the sledge, trying to get a little bit of space for his teammates. Oftentimes, OXG will try to go down into this basement to get a vert denial from down below. I don't think that's their current strategy. The only Nitro they have is on Grixer. Could make a move later on, but without a Valkyrie or a Pulse, it's going to be kind of awkward to make something like that happen. They do have the Solus, of course, being played up here by Forrest, but it really depends on how the rest of this round goes. Even still, it's a good position for Lobin to be. He can start to work up one of these staircases if he needs to, but the pressure, of course, is primarily focused on the top floor. We've seen the Monty trying to get in. Dots is focusing the pressure here on the top rafters, and he will meet the clash as the shoe shields face off.
Oh my goodness, what a nightmare for Dots. The deed comes out to finish off the deed. This is great play from the Clash. 2 rounds in a row now where you see how much value you can get from this shield operator, and they've rebuffed this advance from FLUXO W7M.
You could see the fear in Dots' eyes. The second he saw the Clash, he tried to retreat, but just couldn't make it back far enough. Now Lobin has crept his way up the cargo stairs in a very strong position. His teammates are falling on the top floor, so it puts even more pressure now on one of the best players on FLUXO to be able to perform.
Down goes Adam, so playing a little loosey-goosey. Too much goosey, I think you could say, on that particular one. And Adam yet to find a kill through these 3 rounds. This is unfortunately the Adam that tends to shrink against tough opposition. This is a marathon, not a sprint, so he's got time to turn it around. Now it's FLUXO W7M, after having equalized, needing to work this clock so effectively. Lobin chased off of his position as he looked like Yaga would take matters into his own hands. He will actually, decides to re-engage.
Wow.
Down goes Lobin, a nice trade, keeping things equal. Volps and Palu, the last 2 left for FLUXO W7M. Those are very formidable competitors. I'm a little bit worried if I'm a fan of Oxygen.
Clash play's been so good from Yaga, but he needs to continue to be strong. Grixer, the only one who'll have a gun up during this last second defense. So with 19 seconds on the clock, what can they do to stop the FLUXO aggression?
Well, they charge right at the Clash, and this is a really poor engagement for Yaga, an easy pick for Volps. Now it's all up to Grixer to clutch out again. Very familiar territory, but it's much earlier in the round. This angle now being held by Volps. A flash goes out. Grixer succumbs to it. Nitro Cell toss, not able to hit Palu. Pre-firing over to Volps. These two colliding in the door frame. Pre-firing away. Super Shorty is out. Palu is there for backup. Grixer must know that Palu's gotten into this position, so he has to play it safe. But a good follow-up from Volps as they turn the tides on that round. Things got scary for FLUXO W7M, but they managed to hold it together. Yaga left all on his lonesome, was a troubling spot to be in, and the lead goes back to the Brazilians.
Volps and Palu working together so well in that round, Parker. The youngest and the oldest members of FLUXO W7M coming together in the 2v2. They rush down the Clash. They make sure Yaga is no longer going to be a threat. They will ban it out so it's not a threat any longer here in the server. And I mean, it's really just a great job to stop Grixer. That plant from Palu didn't start being put on the floor until like less than a second in that round. So it was a 1v1 between Volps and Grixer for so long, but his use of flashbangs was perfect to stall out Grixer's ability to get that kill. Every time Grixer wanted to step up and get the frag, Volps chucked a flash at him and he goes full white. That happened twice in that very extended gunfight, about 10 or 15 seconds. By the time he's finally able to engage, well, at that point the time is up and FLUXO W7M regained the lead.
And I mean, Volps could have played that a little bit more patiently, but he opted not to, right? You had Palu still inside the site, far enough back, waiting. Palu was in a great spot. Volps could have also waited for Grixer to bring it to them, because I honestly think Grixer had a very disadvantageous fight there. But ultimately, Volps read it and said, I've got the flashbang, I can use it, let's not waste any more time. Absolute worst case scenario, Volps dies, leaving Palu to go up against a very weakened Grixer. And don't you forget, Volps knew that he had landed some shots on Grixer, so at that point in time, Palu could whisper some nice words and it would have taken down Grixer. So ultimately, a great play by FLUXO W7M. Credit to Volps for that one, and now OXG will look to tie things back up here on round 4.
You see the Monty ban from Oxygen as well. Both teams choosing to remove the biggest shield that their opponents have, so it might be a bit of a rush strategy. Dots in through cargo, and he's going to go right down the stairs, trying to get a plant down pillar.
We don't see Finka very much, Jesse, so when she's on the board, you know hell is all about to break loose, and it is breaking inside of the server. Forrest detonates Dots. Dotes trades it right back, but the guns from OXG have been mighty good. Gomez against his fellow countrymen, now simply out-dueling them, but hey, you've got an infinite amount of bullets in that LMG, why not use them? OXG still with the numbers advantage, defuse kit almost planted, but Dotes falls off as he and Palu need the all clear. They've allowed OXG enough time to get close back to the bomb site. Adam, still without a kill at this point in time, slaughtered by Dotes, who will find his 6th. Stark contrast between these fragging players.
Really good play from Gomez to put a break on that hold. Of course, coming in as well as Forrest, stopping that initial line of aggression. But now Dotez and Palu with site control. They're in an awkward spot, Parker. They want to get it down, but they don't have top control.
Yeah, they've forfeited this floor above them, and you know how serious this can be. The shotgun blasts ultimately missing. No more adrenal surges. Only one smoke in pocket for Palu, but I guess Dotez is just going to kill everybody. Grixer is the last player on OXG remaining and the only one that will stop this Dotez assault. Palu's still there for backup, by the way. Grixer running on in, taking some damage from two separate angles. Pick your poison, but you're still poisoned no matter what. How about every single player dying at the hands of Dotez? An ace for FLUXO W7M en route to an incredible round. Their lead grows by one more, and boy, is he excited.
Dotez so good working in behind his blitz.
We're trying to hear the timeout, Jesse. Please stop talking.
I also think we play in yeah, so let's play yeah, but I'm gonna like move the wall and fuck the high and I think you play trap. You play trap something. Next round, I understand the movement. Okay? We're fine.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, Parker.
You know what I did want to say, though? I could hear Troy better than anybody on OXG. On the other stream right now, Space Station and Shopify Rebellion are doing battle for their lives at this event. One of those North American teams will go home. You might lose oxygen, too, if this FLUXO W7M reign of terror continues. But, yeah, we try our best, but sometimes you just can't hear them, and OXG was decently quiet in that one.
I mean, it all comes off of that ace from Dotez, Parker, and once again, Dotez continues to prove himself as one of the best young players in the world. 25-year-old as of last month from Sao Paulo has been really stepping up since joining this FLUXO W7M team about a year and a half ago now at this point. Playing up against Oxygen puts up one of the first aces of the tournament, and OXG, they respond with the TAC timeout. Now, the TAC timeouts from Oxygen weren't super effective in their last series up against Heretics. When they had to call them, they didn't really find much bounce back from them. Usually the comebacks came from the players themselves in the server. I believe the stat was that they had the lowest win rate after TAC timeout OXG did through this tournament. But Kizzy is still an extremely efficient coach, and sometimes, you know, you need a couple of reps to get things going and to find some way to bounce back after a rough tournament start.
And speaking of bounce back, our eyes are all on Adam at this point in time, the only player on his team without a kill. He's got company with Dots on FLUXO W7M, but, I mean, it's less damning when you are on the team that is currently up 3-1. And as you pointed out before we actually played a single round, Adam is the only positive player on this OXG team. It really is quite stunning that at the start of the day, nobody on Oxygen had a positive KD. Adam being a +2 is as good as it gets. Those are really quite dire numbers, and it was only because of the drubbing that Adam gave that Team Heretics squad, particularly on map 2. So Adam needs a bounce-back performance here, because if he can't stand up to the guns on FLUXO W7M, I don't know if there's enough depth on OXG to do the rest of the work.
Adam playing close on the electrical door. They're expecting the push to come through connector side, and I do think that's the correct read. They've got Gomez to lock down Rafters if it doesn't end up coming on that side of the map, but just look at this positioning on the top down from FLUXO W7M. They want to get this meeting controlled. They've already done a great job breaching into connector, making sure that they put a little bit of pressure on this mirror window. Jumping in through the electrical window is probably going to be the next task, but it's so awkward, Parker, with Adam on the other side of things. If he suspects that you're about to jump in, he can toss a nitrocell right over, but we'll wait for the sound cue before he gets that. There it is.
Beautifully done, eliminating Dots in electrical with fire in front of him. All of the elements seemingly lining up on that one, and Adam still technically doesn't have a kill from a direct gunfight, but you know what? We'll take a nitro cell kill.
I'm sure he won't complain about that. Why not two, says Yaga, but isn't able to land it. Instead, it's Adam getting traded out on the electrical door and the mirror window, popped by the ace.
Trouble firing back. Now Forrest is in the ground. Forrest with 4 kills, trailing only Gomez on his team. Now it's Volps under fire. Yaga drops as well. OXG falling and in a hurry. The last 2 players on oxygen, both very wounded, but still upright, still with guns in hand. The man of the hour from the previous round will continue to amass an impressive kill tally. Breaking double digits is Dodez, and he'll get 11 as well. A 2K to seal the deal. No conversion successful from the OXG timeout. FLUXO W7M in full control of this map. 3 rounds in a row for a nice 4-1 lead. A 5-1 still very much on the table.
Dennis Viana, chill, buddy. Dodez 11-2 to start things off. After back-to-back breakneck rounds, he's been really stepping up to make things happen for Oxygen. He was the MVP back at the Montreal Major in 2024, was one of the key players that got them to that successful trophy lift that they really were desperate to find in Montreal. Now, of course, pushing in through that connector side of things, it was a great job breaking down some of those defenses that were being set up by Oxygen. They had a bit of a late push over towards Aqua Stairs as well, where we're currently focusing in on. You don't see that a whole lot. Usually if a team is primarily pushing connector, the only other dimension they'll have to that push is somebody walking in through IT, as that's a great place to try to get a backstab pinch over onto the server rack, but in the end, it was kind of that dual pressure push from FLUXO W7M that was pulling the attention of Oxygen in 2 different ways.
I mean, if you're a singular focused attack, then it's very easy to counter it, but having to spread out your forces can be mighty tough. Now, mind you, this is FLUXO W7M's map, so irrespective of the side, there will be more familiarity here. Oxygen are waiting for map number 2 to finally get underway, where they will have their own leg up. That'll be Border, a map that you and I actually haven't really had the privilege of casting all that much. While doing stats between these matches, the only map that you and I have yet to cast is Lair.
Yes. No, I mean, we've really been treated to most of the maps here at the Six Invitational. I'm hoping we get a Lair at some point through the rest of this event. That second map of Border, of course, the only map that Oxygen was able to beat FLUXO W7M on in the group stage. That was an 8-7 game, so even then, very much could have gone either way. Could have been a 3-0 on the series for FLUXO W7M if they'd gotten one more in their pocket. Gomez goes for a flank top floor, but he does get droned and then is forced to back off. He can't commit to that once his position does become known. Lobin lurking towards the bottom of Garage as his team starts to take up towards the top of Rafters. They want this top floor control, Parker, and I think they're going to have it without too many issues.
Set of logic bombs now go off. Still death marks in pocket for Lobin. Hard destruction happening as well. Dots completely using that breach utility. Still, nades, flashes, smokes, all good things in pocket for FLUXO, as this will be a full clear and then transition to a site execute. Halfway point in the round, and really nothing has been gambled at this point in time. Every player still alive. Well, I was wrong. Dodez gets blown up by Forest Nitro Cell. All 11 kills from Dodez now off the board.
Yeah, that's a really important pick to get, Parker. With Dodez gone, the firepower decreases drastically for FLUXO W7M. They're very aware of Gomez's position, but with those Kibas, why move from the top of CC stairs? Not where you'd usually see an Azami play, but he's made himself a home, and he has no intention of leaving here without a kill.
This does feel like the older Azami, right? When teams were starting to figure out this map, oh my goodness, you'd have him positioned up here. He's not long for the remainder of this round. Dots walks in, slaughters him. That's the very first kill for Dots coming in round number 6. About as good a time as any. Not just the first kill for Dots, the first kill for FLUXO W7M this round. Final 40 seconds. Dots still holding that defuse kit. A Soulless lurks in the shadows. You need to be concerned with that.
Uh-oh. I mean, there's no way this works for Yaga. He's right on the other side of the door. Yaga will be immediately killed if he tries to go for this flank, Parker, and he doesn't really have time for this.
He seems to have some idea, though, as to where his adversaries are. Now will distract them by opening up this connector wall. But while he's done this, all of his teammates have been put in the ground. He wins the duel against Lobin.
Hold on.
He might be able to stop this defuse plant as it's happening. He's got a line of sight. Can he reach it in time? Fulp shuts him down. A Herculean effort from the Yog Dog. But he's neutered by the FLUXO W7M forces. 5-1 the first half. They are skating through their own map right now.
And you can understand why Yaga wanted to commit so heavily to that flank, Parker. Yes, it cost his entire team the bomb site, but if he's a little bit faster, if he can stop that plant from going down, he is in full control playing on the Solus. Really nice attempt from the new captain of Yaga, but it's the new captain of Dots over on FLUXO W7M who really was the star of the show. We didn't catch it on cam, but walked through the bomb site, got a triple kill as he's finding those players inside the site. Kind of an interesting story coming into this game, actually, Parker, is that both teams swapped their IGLs coming into SI. These are the only two teams in the tournament who have brought a brand new IGL in an attempt to shrug off some of the issues that they've had over the last couple of months.
It was Volps, right?
Yes, Dots taking the IGL role away from Volps, and then Yaga taking the IGL role away from Forest.
As we ready ourselves for this second half, we do have a small update as to what's going on the A stream. They are way behind us right now as their second map just concluded. And of course, spoilers, so close your ears here. Shopify Rebellion on this very map, sending that series to map 3, SSG winning map number 1, SR winning map number 2. They will go the full distance. The loser of that series goes home. As with the M80 G2 matchup earlier today, and now that SSG SR matchup, these are good teams that could very easily be playing on main stage.
Yep.
It is a shame to lose them now, but as we get deeper into this event, we will be saying goodbye to a lot of good teams. So if you're a fan of SR or SSG, pull up both and try to watch them. I actually think they're on a break right now, so there's not really that much to watch. Stick with us for the time being. They have one more game today, do they not? They do. They have Team Secret versus G2 to wrap up the day. Ooh. That's another series where you don't want to say goodbye to either of those. G2's got some serious plot armor right now, Jesse. They seem to be on the ropes, and then they always bounce back.
So many regional rivals today. We got the All-American, the All-European, everything that you can have up against one another. The regional rivals are meeting in the playoffs after mostly being held from each other in the group stage.
We have no regional matchups in the upper bracket semifinals. Those will go live tomorrow. FaZe Clan and Wildcard will do battle, and then Furia Falcons will do battle as well. We know all 4 of those teams will make main stage. We're waiting on 2 more, and we will have a clearer picture of that by the end of today, and then, of course, into the matchups tomorrow. But we've got a game on our hands, Jesse. FLUXO W7M now on the favorable side of this map with quite a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. FLUXO W7M on the strongest bomb site, too. It's critical that Auction can find a way to break it. They've got Volps playing inside of Electrical. That seems to be the focus for them at the moment. They toss in a little bit of that information. It's a Nomad to be able to get that player forced back, but Volps just retakes the spot. I think they were hoping to use it as flank wash to jump in later. Now they burn him out with the Capitao.
I actually like the fact that he triggered that one so early. Now they'll either have to use another air jab from Adam, and they will do just that, but that means that Volps is now wasting that utility. It
got caught by a magnet, Parker.
I was going to say, now all the air jabs have been used, so only the Flames will be able to stop Volps. At this point in time, down goes Yaga to Dots. I think that was the main breach, wasn't it? Things are not going very well for this OXG assault.
No, without a shield, they're going to have a real tough time getting into the building, Parker. The Toxic Babes are filling Electrical. They've got good information on IT, and with the Candelas of Forest, this is going to be their entry point.
Grixer now taking some damage as they look for an opening into this IT wall. Forest letting those Candelas go, but there's no immediate follow-up. Trying to draw one of these defenders out, but good patience so far from FLUXO W7M. Grixer gets on the board. That's all OXG can muster. They'll lose yet another. Forest taking matters into his own hands. Down goes Loban and back to equal footing as Oxygen so badly needs to pick up rounds in a hurry.
30 seconds. Grixer with the defuse kit is on the roof, so they've got to group up and they've got to hit site fast.
There's a good idea of how quickly those Razor Blooms go off. You see Forest almost dying to it. The nerfed range obviously making a big difference. Gomez shreds Dots. Forest is dropped. Again, trading back and forth. Dodes and Volps, the last 2 remaining for FLUXO W7M. Gomez and Grixer linked up together. Time running out. Diffuse going down at the hands of Grixer. There goes Volps. Dodes will need to clinch this round. Does he have time to stop Grixer into the post plant? Grixer doesn't know he's rotating. Dodes does it again. What an impressive retake from W7M's player, now under that FLUXO name. Goodness gracious, nothing breaking in favor of the North Americans, and it's 6-1 for the Brazilians.
Ring around the rosy, and now I've got 14 kills. That's the game being played by Dotez.
I sing that nursery rhyme all the time.
Teach it to your children. I think Dotez will be. My God, it's just been a ridiculous game, Parker. After that round, he's currently posting a 196 EPS. Unheard of to get that close to 200. If he can maintain that level of play through one more round victory, this will be his best game that he has played since the start of the season in March of 2025. He has been a good player for FLUXO W7M. It's not like this is some sleeper guy who's having a crazy pop-off game. He is known to be the best player on this team, and somehow he is still breaking his own records.
Having to go back a calendar year, Jesse, to find a better scoreline. And let me guess, it probably wasn't at the Six Invitational.
It was against the great team known as 9Z.
I feel like we should look up the definition of the word great after this match here. I feel like you would find it does not mean what you think it means.
Stage 2 group stage matchup.
They finished.
They finished last.
They finished last. Okay.
Yeah, they finished last, I'm pretty sure.
So up against the last place team in Brazil versus a top 12 finisher at SI. Yeah, those are similar stakes.
Yeah. Dotez powering up exactly when he's needed, and I don't even know if there's anything you can do as OXG at this point when Dotez is playing like he is, single-handedly winning, by my count, at least 3 rounds and heavily contributing to many of the others. There is not a whole lot of gameplay that you can do about this. They will try to go down towards the bottom floor. Already the breaching being done very quickly by OXG, which is a good start. Another opening pick, though, from FLUXO W7M as Loban finds Gomez.
And this is when the finger pointing at Adam is going to return. I hate to say it, but this is where people will turn around and say, see, against tough competition, he shrivels. He's 1-7 right now. You referenced EPS earlier. He is at the bottom with 41 at this point in time. And now playing on a more traditional hard breach role, so maybe he won't be the main point of the spear. Forrest is, and boy, that spear is mighty sharp. Nice patience from Dots. Nitro Cell goes out looking for a second kill, will not find it. Oxygen still outnumbered. Grixer out-dueling Dotez, and Palu dies at his hand as well. Suddenly we are on even footing with over half of the round to go. Volps will need to clutch as he's lost Dots. Guzmán mine goes out. Volps has a good idea of where this player is. I don't like that shot with a Scorpion. Smoke going off. Drone for the follow-up. Volps plays that one so effectively. He's stuck. This is a tough spot to be in. His own team's barricade, his undoing. That is a frustrating place to be in.
Take the risk.
OXG needs this shot in the arm.
Wait, don't get. Wait, don't get.
Did you pick up on what Adam said, by the way? I didn't hear that.
Take the risk. Always take the risk. That's the lesson being learned by OXG in the midst of this. They know that these are crazy plays they have to make. They're going for a rush in through Animus. They're aware that FLUXO could counter that, and frankly, Dots nearly shut that round down. If this smoke doesn't go out, he doesn't need to shoot this blitz. He can waste even more time, but the smoke comes through. He's forced to make that play, and then he's just a little bit antsy. He feels like he has to move because they know where his position is. Volps, for all that he did, he just couldn't quite find the shot up on the Animus hatch. It is an incredible game of keep away being played by Yaga on the Rara down inside of Animus. Just a really good round to come through in the dying seconds in the chaos from OXG. It is not much, but it's a start.
Dotez's EPS has now fallen by just 20 from that singular round. Again, the high water mark of his career from 190-ish, you said, down to 175?
Yeah, 166 is his current best record.
So he's still above that, but those numbers are falling faster than the, what was it, Bitcoin that you were talking about with G2? And
Hold on, Al now might be listening. Hold on.
You were tracking Bitcoin's success in comparison to G2's chances. What is Bitcoin at right now, and how will it impact the G2 team secret matchup earlier today? That's the real question that we're going to ask.
It's shocking how accurate that track can be, but
Dodez has been a real heat sink for these kills. Outside of him and Volps, everybody else underwater on FLUXO W7M. Everybody underwater on OXG, except for Gomez. Gomez 8 and 7 right now. So things far more grim. And honestly, you'd suspect that these numbers would be a lot worse. Adam is basically the heat sink for OXG, taking all of the deaths and none of the kills.
Well, last time it was the shot into the back of the blitz that nearly did it for FLUXO W7M. They are hoping to do that again with, of course, Lobin in the rat spot under the meeting desk. There is again a blitz coming through from Force on the top floor, but they don't seem to care about meeting, Parker. They've taken in through top, and they are now moving their way over towards Aqua, trying to get down to this mid floor to convert onto an execute. Yaga holding at the top of that. What sort of flank drones have they set up, or maybe what even cameras have they set up with Grixer playing here on the zero? With all 5 players alive, there might not be anybody watching for the flank to come through, although Grixer certainly seems like he's looking for it.
Logic Bomb goes off, immediately dealt with. It'll knock Palu off of any of the yokais that he might be sitting on. 3 yokais available for Echo now after those mid-season changes went into effect. Palu had 1 in pocket up until recently. I was wondering if he would keep it, maybe for the element of surprise. Oxygen actually was the far and away better team on opening duels in that first half. 5 of the 6 rounds were started with OXG getting kill number 1, and they converted only a single one of those rounds. Now it's FLUXO W7M time. They are undefeated on First Bloods on this second half, and they are stretching their lead as Gomez and Forrest are gone. Mostly the biggest issue, Jesse, no more shield for OXG. This is where things get real tough.
Yeah, now with a 2-man disadvantage, they want to clear out the basement. There are a lot of bodies. 3 players you can see on the outlines still playing inside the site, but Dodez up above. He will start to force this player down cargo as he retakes the spot, but loses the fight. Yaga, a nice shot, but his teammates continue to fall around him. It is Adam and Yog in a 2v4 to keep Oxygen alive on the first map, hoping desperately that they can get another plant down here on the bottom floor.
This is a good read by Yaga. Beautifully hard shot, but he makes it work. Adam has now found an opening with Yaga for coverage. With the way Yaga's shooting today, I would put my faith in him 10 times out of 10. Maybe not. I changed my mind. Oh my goodness. Palu and Volps shred the 2 final players of OXG just like that. And a Nighthaven Labs that OXG will be soon to forget. FLUXO W7M not really showing that many signs of enthusiasm, but hey, a win's a win. Turn your sights towards border, and a 2-0 is very possible. OXG will now go to their map, hoping to stay alive here in the lower bracket.
And Dodez completes his 2nd best performing map of his season. 165 EPS on the round. I think we'll see where that lands. 165 would be almost good enough, as the 166 was his previous season record. Nice try by
I have
Dodez.
158.
Yeah, we'll see where it ends up, but
up.
Ultimately, it's a crazy good game from Dodez, single-handedly dominating against Oxygen Esports.
You got to win your map, and then you got to win your opponent's map. FLUXO W7M says, easy, we've been there before. What happens on border? It's up next.
Maria with a cake. You know what time it is. Birthday time. Today is Twister's birthday. Let's go. Cadê ele? Where is him? Where is him? Ô, Twister, chegou o teu momento. He didn't notice me. Ô, Twister, todo mundo? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Twister. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Vai. Woo! So, boa! I'm not gonna ask you your wish because it might be to lift a hammer, but you are doing so great in secret, so that might happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think like in the moment right now, the team is just flowing, so I'm very happy with the results. And for sure, if I have one thing to ask, is just the biggest achievement of my career. What is that?
Sure, you have won all of your games, also FLUXO, and you are playing against them today. It might be a gift to also win over them.
Exactly. If we win today against them, I think it's a good showing for the team to go through groups without a single loss, and also to boost the confidence of the group for the playoffs. So yeah, a big gift.
Who should be more worried, you or them?
Who should be more what, sorry?
Worried.
Worried. I think then right now they had like a few shaky games, but I still think it will be a good game. Maybe even a 3 maps game, but we might get it.
Let's not talk about game. Just like you have some lunch. What is the gift you're gonna give him for his birthday?
A win.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Happy birthday, Twister.
Every Six Invitational final is a storm of pressure, a clash of tension. They leave a mark that doesn't fade.
Boston, are you ready? The Six Invitational 2025 begins now!
We need to want it, CSI. We need to want it.
Everybody always talks about being mentally prepared for a game, and no one really knows what that looks like.
Especially that pressure of SI. As a player, that eats you up.
Everything is possible. Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's fucking go.
Well, there's the man of the hour, Jesse. An unbelievable performance in map number 1 and pretty close to the best rating in his entire career. An EBS of 165. It is locked in. Numbers boy, where does that put him?
166 was his best performance earlier on in this season. That was in stage 2. That's not necessarily career high. That is for the season, but still 165. You got to give it to him. By far the MVP in this game against Oxygen. If he plays like that again in map 2, I fear it is over.
Yeah. I mean, what more do you say? He was a world beater in that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be so blunt, but that's just kind of how it is when he plays like that.
I think the storylines will be Dodez performing on the side of on the FLUXO W7M, and then Adam on the side of OXG. You cannot have another performance like that, or else you punch your own ticket home. Does this end OXG's run on their own map? Do FLUXO W7M move forward? Our final map potentially awaits us.
Border was FLUXO W7M's map pick, actually, in the group stage, and when they played it in groups, Oxygen walked away with the victory. They will now be the ones to choose this versus FLUXO W7M. The victory took 15 rounds. It was not clean, it was not easy, but OXG do have a history of beating FLUXO here on Border, and it happened just 5 days ago. So they know what it takes to get the job done on this map, but they'll have to do it again, and they'll have to do it with so much more pressure. Their life is on the line.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem when you are an experienced team going up against a team that is still working through things. And I think it's fair to say both of these teams are working through some things with their IGL changes, like you touched upon. But I do think I give the experience and that veteran nod to the FLUXO W7M team. Their map pool will likely be a little bit more robust, just like a good cup of Folgers in the morning. And you have to struggle to go against that. Do we even end up needing a third map? I would argue, as of right now, it looks quite unlikely, but we also didn't predict a Team Heretics clawback in this series earlier against OXG. It looked like OXG was going to dominate them and walk away from it. With a huge 2-0 victory, they still end up doing it, but Heretics made it look real competitive, and without that Grixer clutch, I honestly think we go to OT, and then who knows what happens. So, we play these matches in the server, Jesse, not on paper.
I think we're going to need to see Adam stepping things up, Parker. Obviously, we saw it from Dodez. He's the primary entry player for FLUXO. Adam's the primary entry player for Oxygen, and we know how good he can be. Adam, when he is on, is one of the best players in all of North America. I don't take any pause when saying that. He is so incredibly talented as long as he is on his game, but he didn't show up for map number 1. He needs to show up for map number 2. Border can be a map where you let your fraggers fly, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do here for Oxygen. Playing up and towards open area, that's somewhat where Loban is looking right now. He's staring actually through the sight hatch, of which Grixer is about to give him a peek. Deals a little bit of damage across from both sides, but they will walk away successfully.
You watch the player cam of Loban, he literally recoiled in real life as he was surprised from that shot. I'm glad you highlighted Adam because he was the highest rated player in the NAL Season 2 that ended just a couple months ago. Not one of the, which is a nice little bit of weasel words we use, the literal statistically highest rated player. He was above Spoit, he was above Gavin, he was above Newers, he was above Gomez, Diffuser, Yaga, Surf, all of these guys. And here he is, bottoming out in map number 1 and needing to find something here in map 2.
I like the mirror setups from Oxygen. They've got one that goes all the way down the main hallway. This is something a lot of NA teams like to run. They've got a Rooney gate trying to protect that as well, and Gomez on the Warden sitting in behind it. So it's going to be very difficult to get past this mirror utility. And of course, that is where they're trying to come through. Of course, open area seems to be the push from FLUXO W7M. So they have to navigate past these mirror windows. They have to get through Adam playing inside a fountain, and they have to find some way to get a plant down with all of their hard breach.
Mira will be the first one targeted by this death mark.
Oh, the Tubarao will stop it.
They managed to shut it down. They've done this a few times, Tubarao shutting down that death mark. So excellently played. You can use it quite defensively instead of proactively. We still got more from Lobin that he can use.
I mean, he keeps you so safe in that site position. Usually that should be a death sentence with Lobin down below, but he can't do anything if he doesn't have pings.
Nitro Cell goes out by Grixer, the savior of the final rounds. He'll shred Dots through the wall as well, now under fire from below. Lobin taking a beating. They double up on Grixer. They managed to get him in that spot, but a Nitro Cell from Adam. Adam has 3 kills so far in this series, 2 of them coming from explosives. Dodez, a good reaction time onto Gomez as Oxygen still hold the numbers advantage. Timer not helping this FLUXO W7M team whatsoever. Adam already matching his kill tally from the previous map, and he could surpass it. He will do just that. You need a bounce back. There it is in round number 1. Immediate smiles across the faces of OXG. They so badly need the mental game to be on their side as well.
That is just what the doctor ordered. It's going to be Adam stepping up from that fountain position, TCSG in hand, hit so many beautiful shots in the midst of that. Parker knew exactly where the pressure was going to come from. A lot of the eyes on FLUXO were trained towards Grixer, and despite all the util they tried to use to work him out of that site position, he was being protected by his 2-brow, and he was hitting some brilliant shots as well to start that round with a nice little 2-piece. His Nitro, and then that shot, such a pretty one to start things off for him. Adam closing things off just at the end there with his own Nitro and his own shots on the players that were trying to flank in from behind. I mean, that is an ideal round for Oxygen Esports. From start to finish, it felt like they were reading that attack. They knew exactly where the pressure was coming from and when, and they were always able to respond to it, no matter what FLUXO threw at them.
10 seconds remaining.
Porter is always such a crazy and chaotic match that I suspect we will see more rounds, like round number 1, where it comes to an all-out brawl. I was a little surprised that they weren't able to net a kill on either of these teams earlier in that previous round. When you think about it, Border is quite small. It is a lot smaller than you'd think, and you can very easily get kills from outside of the building. A big part of why you see so many defenders taking early gunfights, especially through windows and doorways, is because this map can get so claustrophobic. You are almost playing in a coffin in some of these rooms, and you don't want to end up spawning into the exact same place that you're going to end up despawning from. So if you can catch them off guard, give yourself a big advantage, why not go for it? And Adam just tried to do it on an upside-down repel of Dots, loses a bit of Adam's HP in the process, but still is able to persist. So a gamble from OXG does not pay off, but really not that much lost from it. Gomez shutting Dodez down. Some struggles early with FLUXO W7M's entry.
Trying to use this launch bomb to clear in through the top floor, but they are able to take down Dodez, the star player for map number 1. It's a great start in terms of shutting down that problem player that they had to deal with over on Nighthaven Labs. FLUXO W7M, they haven't really committed that hard to clearing the top floor. As soon as Dodez went down, it felt like they're now focused mostly on the main floor. Might have only just wanted Dodez to play up there with the air jabs to stop some movements, maybe catch a player off guard. You've got Yaga playing security. You've got Gomez playing inside of lockers as well. That's kind of the 2-man west side extension. It's really only going to be Forrest and Grixer that are playing down on the bottom floor in towards that site. Forrest tucked into shower, Grixer just at the bottom of east stairs.
It's a very strong position for Grixer to be in, and I mean, it's an engagement that we see quite often, so Volps, who is nearby, will likely be anticipating it. He's got to get through that Surya gate first, and look at how much damage has already been done to him. He might end up dying in Grixer's hands. He does. Gomez finds yet another kill. Right now, this defensive play from the North Americans going so effectively, maybe a bit more successful than the Nitro Cell that we just saw tossed out. Paulu alone to clutch out. OXG poised to go up 2-0. They just need to find the final Brazilian player that will stare them down. Yes, Paulu is usually among the last alive. It's not always a knock about him and his play style, because he's been able to do some pretty crazy things from this position. But this bomb site is small. I don't know what he'll be able to muster up against a team that is really well fanned out and will be holding aggressively on all of these pathways leading him in. To make matters worse, FLUXO W7M does not have this diffuser, so Paulu will just simply be acting on instincts. Nice shot from Yaga. There wasn't even more gunfire than just the single 1v1. Wait till you see this replay. It's a real nasty one.
Yeah, peeking with the pistol, one tap at a time, and they get it done really nice. It's a Fluxo tac timeout.
Really early.
Yep.
Isso, essa call é principalmente para oficina e arsenal, tá? Tudo que, se eles continuarem mantendo essa gameplayzinha guivada, a gente quer tudo que eles guivam. Então, por exemplo, Lobo, eu quero preparar a metal para deixar eles travadinhos no canto. Eu quero ter um ace na porta-cozinha para a gente abrir o L, para impedir a ajuda do PC. Eu quero progredir uma killzinha no PC, por exemplo, tá ligado? Então pode testar a kill de demos, na real, no PC, por baixo, chamando essa atenção deles. E aí a gente vai deixando eles sufocados, tá ligado? Eu não quero jogar full andando tipo, pela fonte, arquivos, etc. E aí na hora de pegar essas kills, vocês vão pegar e vai ficar sufocando eles dentro do arsenal e do arquivos. E aí vocês splitam com o bang do jeito que você tinha falado, entendeu? Então a gente quer tudo que eles não têm, impressionar eles por isso, com ace, etc.
You know what I'm going to say.
Say it, Parker.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's Norris, head coach of FLUXO W7M, been with this core of Lobin and Dots and their other guys since 2023. The roster has, of course, changed quite a bit since he first joined in with this team, but it's the only squad he has ever coached professionally at a Tier 1 level, and he's done a well enough job to win a major, Parker, so you've got to listen when he speaks, even if it is in Portuguese. FLUXO W7M have got to find some way to work some of these opening picks, I think, be a little bit less obvious on where they're trying to push from. They are playing together in a lot of these rounds, Parker, but it just feels like Oxygen are getting a very early read as to where the push is going to come from. They are not being caught off guard, and then consistently the guns are hot from OXG. If you can't beat them in the raw 50-50 gunfights, you've got to find some way to catch them off guard. I'm hoping FLUXO W7M can do that in the third round.
He's hunting for drones at this point in time. No, actually, he's not. He's looking for that same rappel that we saw last time. They must have seen some of that break. There was a drone watching him, so Volps is either waiting for a run out or a burst out, but this is a game of chicken at the moment. They've surely relayed this information to Palu, right?
Still watching it.
3 players.
He's gone.
Just tepidly approaching this part of the map.
If nothing else, I mean, it bought a team 40 seconds, Parker. It gave it a little bit of pause to the approach to the building, and it will slow down FLUXO W7M on this approach. So a little bit of time bought by Adam, even though his aggressive play does get spotted out by the Brazilians.
Actually wild how much of the clock went down from just that single play. That's time you have to make up later on in the round. So mistakes can happen from FLUXO W7M because they might feel a sense of urgency that wasn't there before a single set of punches to a barricade kept them at bay by Adam.
He's not done yet, Parker. Still wants a kill over towards this east stairs. He's got Grixer right with him, too. So it's a 2-man roam here on the east side of the map. Bomb site ventilation workshop, don't forget that. So very far from where these players are positioned. The FLUXO W7M want to clear this full map. They want to engage with Adam, and he seems happy to take these fights.
Dots will find a Gumine. Nitro Cell goes out based on sound, but it sounds like it's been shot away at least from what we heard from that bearing 9. Now it's Gomez engaging as Volps is a wanted man. Shotgun goes out and he manages to get away. Very impressive from Volps. This roam right now from OXG is keeping FLUXO W7M from getting into the building. They have looked completely toothless. They are putting many bodies from the Brazilians into the ground. Volp's the only one on the board at this point in time, but OXG have done so much damage, and there's still a minute to go.
There's no disruption operators being brought out, Parker. They don't have a way to surprise these players to give themselves an advantage. It's more 50-50 fights, which Oxygen are hitting some crazy shots to be able to win. It was a nice little flick from Gomez to get a third opening pick on the round win, and now they leave Palu and Volps with an impossible task. Yes, they've got full top control, but with 40 seconds to go and a defuse kit to try to put on the ground, it just isn't going to be likely for them to pull this off. They need some miracle shots to be hit by these two players.
Palu and Volps are very formidable, and they are scary, scary players. I just don't like their odds on a map like this, Jesse. It goes back to what I said in the previous round, right? Things get real closed off real quick. You can just sit and wait and hold these angles, and you are effectively doomed as an attacker if your opponents don't make any mistakes. Oxygen in the previous round didn't make any, but Palu sees the under-dot red sight, annihilates Yaga. Grixer goes down too, but Forrest keeps this one as close as can be, and now Volps will need to make up for lost time. Grabbing the defuse kit, he knows he's a dead man walking. Gomez running all his way in. Will Volps get off in time to shut him down? No, but as good an effort as you could possibly imagine. Probably too close for comfort if I'm OXG, but their lead will continue to grow. FLUXO W7M still held off the board.
Volps and Paulo used to team together back on Team Liquid, and just like that squad, they come so close, but just miss their ultimate goal. Unfortunate coming through from FLUXO W7M. Despite the nice attempt, it's this early aggressive play from Oxygen that has been so successful, taking these gunfights, stalling out the time, forcing FLUXO W7M to take raw gunfights, which they are not winning. I don't know if there's any operator they can ban out which would give them an edge in the midst of this. I think Mira's a good a choice as any. Was used really well by Grixer back in round number 1, if you will recall, but it's going to take more than just an operator ban to turn this game around.
Yeah, I don't think the Mira was really quite that instrumental in that position. Grixer holding a Vector, sure thing, why not? But I mean, they used the Zoto canisters so well.
Yeah.
The real deficiency here for FLUXO W7M seems to be information. They do not really know where to attack against this OXG team. And again, I don't like bringing this up, but there obviously is an issue with the drone counter in the top of your screen. Right now, it looks okay, but it does make tracking the drone economy, which is a term that you haven't heard us use all that often because it has been a persistent issue. It makes identifying the drone work far more challenging for us, which in turn makes it harder to relay that to you. But it certainly does seem like drones or no drones. FLUXO W7M needs more intel to kickstart a proper offense on this map.
I'm glad they give it a little demonstration. As we're speaking about that, the drones were dying and coming back to life, according to the overlays. So,
if you're a religious man, droneology is very important. The resurrection of the drones, and it goes from having, we were down to 7 drones, then we went up to 9. Now we mysteriously are down to 3.
Despite there being 5 in pocket at a bare minimum.
And presumably some drones still in place before, but you know what?
Oh well.
Numbers are a scary thing. There's a reason why I didn't major in them.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, Parker. I can say that as a math major myself. Top floor clear is the goal. Dots punching a window. He ends up finding a warden instead. Not what he was expecting to see. But now we'll give him a bit of pause. He's looking to potentially jump in here. Of course, if they can get in through the east stairs, that might give them a bit more of an easy entry point to find Gomez. He's playing around here with Yaga just inside a break room. There's nobody actually on the east stairs itself. Often you'll see a player positioned right here where Observer is showing us, but instead they've got Grixer playing down below at the bottom of the staircase, who can provide a similar role of pressuring anybody who tries to jump into rafters while still being a little bit more safe from that passport position.
A minute now elapsed, and boy, oh boy, things have not changed for FLUXO W7M. They called their timeout, and they have not been able to fix these issues. And they're glaring issues right now. There is a giant red flashing sign above this FLUXO W7M team that is real cause for concern. OXG taking advantage of this. They've lost Yaga, but still, they find themselves on even footing. This is a good position to be if you're OXG, especially since you've taken out the ace on FLUXO.
Yeah, and Grixer's been such a problem.
No,
he gets another. Why not
no,
3?
Okay.
All right. Volps shuts it down, and we'll make sure that this stays at an even man count spot. But Parker, again, the time waste from the aggressive players of Oxygen has been oh so good. Grixer has done all that he needs to. They lost Yaga as a security player early on. Adam has actually retaken that position to play beside Gomez and continue to allow them to play the south side of the map.
That Nitrosil did an incredible amount of damage for how direct it was. Dots and Volps will now limp along for the remainder of this round. Dota's the only one who was healthy, is gone. Like, look at this. You knew there was a guy in security. He hit your air jab, and yet you go in through the window and you don't square your body away against him. I don't know what's going on with this FLUXO W7M team, but Oxygen are in full control. They just need to find Volps, and then the round is theirs. I feel like at this point it's a formality. It is. Forrest goes for the swing. He had him on drone the entire time. The Yokai giving information for his team.
They were in the building, bro. Oh, why were they?
Huge vibe shift for this OXG squad. Smiles across the board. And for good reason. A 4-0 start on their own map. FLUXO W7M are very quickly losing this match.
Safe to say that attack timeout was unsuccessful, and now we are on pace for 7 straight for the North Americans. And I mean, Parker, there were certainly mistakes from FLUXO W7M in the midst of this round. It feels like all game long they have been struggling to get into the building, to get that opening advantage. Even in this round where they're somewhat successful in trading things out, the longer it goes, the better it gets for Oxygen. Volps at the very end, finally finding a kill, catching someone off guard, to be able to take down one of those players inside the site. That is what they need more of. of. They need to find gaps. They need to find ways into that Oxygen defense that aren't being hard held by angles from OXG, but they're just not able to find them. Oxygen as well are hitting some disgusting shots to keep themselves alive. Grixer towards the bottom of those east stairs, of course, and some beautiful play from Adam retaking that security position, as well as, of course, that briefing player as well. I mean, it just feels like everybody on Oxygen is warmed up. They're hitting the shots they need to. They're stopping FLUXO from getting into the building, and despite the fact that they still have a lot of tools available, I'm not seeing the Capitao being brought. I like the Grim here being brought out by Dodez. The Ying, of course, is banned out, as are the Shields. Something needs to break, and they've got to find some way to get themselves an advantage, because it just keeps being 50-50 fights.
Loban is 0 kills. Dodez almost breaking his own record for most highest EPS in the last year. He's sitting on 1 kill.
Yeah.
It is really quite puzzling what is going on with this team. You wouldn't think that a short break between these maps and then just the comfort of going to a map you know better would make this much of a difference, but here we are.
Crunch time for FLUXO. They've got to find some way to get an advantage in one of these rounds. Bathroom Tellers is the bomb site, and there's the advantage they were looking for. Loban through the hatch is able to take down Yaga and get that one-man lead. A Logic Bomb immediately follows it up, and we can hope that FLUXO W7M can try to get more to add to their tallies. They have yet to find anyone else up on the top floor. It is still Adam, Gomez, and Grixer locking down the top floor above the bomb site. Only Forest remains inside the site. Most of this push is kind of coming south side. You've got Dots with a fuse kit out in the balcony. You've got players all around the map, of course, for FLUXO W7M. But it feels like this is where the push has got to come for. It feels like they're trying to find Gomez as he dips in and out of security.
The thing is, the numbers show on Border. This is an attacker-sided map. Most bomb sites, attacker-favored as well. Finally, FLUXO W7M have figured this one out. And Loban shreds Gomez and gets the hatch for good measure. Down goes Grixer, and now it's OXG getting punished from angles they're not really looking at. Adam finds one, his position revealed. Now trying to deal with security as a vault out will go. OXG will almost certainly surrender their very first round here, unless Adam knows something that we don't. If they continue to give him 1v1 engagements, Adam can very easily win this, and he will get now ever closer to this bomb site, taking steps to address these 3 remaining players on FLUXO W7M. Isolated as the Bees will await him. A trail of devastation leading for him to get to this B bomb site. He actually does have an angle, but his reflexes aren't good enough. Doda's in the midst of the site. Volps and Palu will cover, and Adam has to find another path. Just missing one defender. He gets Volps. Defender of the case, of course. Palu's still upright. Dodez had to peel off. Will attempt again. I like what Adam is trying to do here, but it is a really tough job, and he's made his position inside of Customs. No! 3 players from FLUXO W7M looking for that final kill. Dodez will get the job done. That's the round. The first round for FLUXO W7M. They have quite the hill to climb if they want to get back onto even footing.
Adam's been great so far this game, but it's not quite good enough in the 1v3. FLUXO W7M, really strong start, and it's all off the back of Loban, Parker. Loban is the difference maker. All 3 of those entry kills came from the bottom floor. Effectively, all came from Customs. Loban was taking advantage of all the eyes that were over towards security, over towards break room. Even we were focused on what was happening up on that top floor, but instead of caring about any of that, Loban walks in, he gets 1 kill on the vert player up above through the hatch, he gets 1 kill on the site player horizontally looking into the bomb site, and then a 3rd kill through the other hatch into security. Both hatches into that room were able to find kills for Loban. That gets him on the board. That finally starts him in this match. It might have taken 5 rounds, but the 5th was the most important, and he is now in this game.
You find that there are players who can get quite streaky, right? They'll pick up a couple kills. Loban isn't usually a streaky player. I remember the stat that we trotted out in a matchup they did a couple days ago where we said Loban was averaging a kill a round. That is not a streaky player. If you were consistently getting that 1 kill every round, and in that matchup, if you recall, I think he went all but 2 rounds without a single kill.
Yeah.
That's consistency. That's not streakiness. A fun little quirk of what we are seeing in this matchup is that irrespective of the map and irrespective of the team, the defenders have all but 2 of the opening duels. So map not particularly relevant. Teams, not particularly relevant. Comfort level, not relevant. Defenders are always striking first, with 2 exceptions. That is something that doesn't happen all that often, especially on a map like Border that, again, is one of the few that skews towards the attackers.
Yeah.
That's good news for OXG, but bad news for them when the side swap comes in.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they adapt when they have to go over to that attacking side. As far as the defense goes, they can continue to play their positions, whether that's hiding under a desk in the bomb site or whether that's roaming over towards east stairs. There's going to be a couple different ways for Oxygen to address this push coming out from FLUXO W7M. Looks like it is going to be an east-focused clear coming from the south side of the map. Adam is the first one to engage, and he finds 1 toe of dots. Not good enough for more than 10 or 20 damage. Goes for it again, but there's so much pressure to his north that he just kind of has to back off. He's got teammates with him, but they're a little bit farther behind.
Admittedly, I have nowhere near as much footage on Adam as I do other players, but he is far more comfortable here than he was at any point in time on Nighthaven Labs, and you can see it in the way that he's handling these engagements. The man that you tripped over yourself to praise in the previous round, and a key part of that only round that FLUXO W7M has won, Lobin, is dead early. They are also trying to figure out dots on Blackbeard. That was Adam's engagement that you highlighted. But Dots is still able to continue to trudge forward. An all-out assault, but Adam is the gatekeeper of this top floor. Down goes Volps as well. Volps, with the most kills on his team, will not be able to influence this final round of the first half.
FLUXO, they need to find some way to crack this egg. It's just looked like the first 4 rounds over again. Grixer from below. Its angles are not even aware of. Parker, a 5-1 split seems all but inevitable.
Adam was tucked into the corner waiting to get Paulu, and then Forrest said, nope, it's my Nitro Cell that is going to take it instead. It would be a hell of a statement to take this first half flawlessly. They won't make that statement, but a statement will be made either way, albeit a bit weaker. Adam closing out the first half. A triumphant run from him, a triumphant run from OXG. 5-1 the scoreline.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that they lose that round as soon as Lobin goes down, Parker. Lobin was the only one to find success back in round number 5. He's shut down so early by Forrest, who, remember, was just hiding under the desk inside of ventilation. He kills him on the vent's window. He was ratting inside the site, and I think they were expecting Lobin to do similar things. Lobin killed Forrest in the bomb site in round 5. That was a big part of the reason why FLUXO W7 were able to win that round. It's really good adaptation coming out from the former captain of Oxygen to stop that play from happening once again. The top floor clear, just abysmal from FLUXO through 6 straight rounds. And they will now not have to deal with that again as long as they can hold on to these defenses.
Just trying to pick up some of the comms that were happening there, but not really much to be gained. For those that are newer to the broadcast, we will repeat ourselves. Today is the day where we say goodbye to half of the remaining teams here in Paris and go down from 16 to 8. Only 8 teams will remain with a shot at lifting the hammer. Some of them for the first time, others looking to add more to an already growing trophy case. We know 4 of the teams that will be competing on the main stage. We just need to get to the remaining 2. We'll get there tomorrow. But this lower bracket run that we are witnessing will continue on this channel once this matchup concludes. Team Secret and G2 will be the final on A stream. We are done. That means we'll be going over there. On the A stream right now, Space Station and Shopify Rebellion are doing battle. Shopify Rebellion was successful in their matchup earlier today, knocking Ninjas in Pajamas out of this tournament. Troy Jaroslavsky, a.k.a. Canadian, he's lifted a few hammers in his day, will go up against the team of SSG that he lifted one of those hammers with. From what I hear from the player booths, just next to our casting booth, it sounds like quite an electric affair. The winner of this matchup will go up against the winner of Shopify Rebellion and Space Station. It could be an all-North American derby if OXG succeeds here and then is successful on Kafe, but they will need a reverse sweep as map 1 went to the Brazilians.
Looks like Oxygen are setting themselves up for a pretty nice attack. They do not have the Glads available to them. That's something that Yaga has run a lot of for Oxygen on this map, and particularly attacking that top floor bomb site. Goes over to the Dokkaebi this time around in an attempt to try to give his team some information with go for the clear. It's always a question, do you go for a rush your very first attack on Border? I'm not seeing it yet, but given the position, it could be a late rush coming in from them. Capital Bolt stopped those players inside of security from retreating back, but it's a Nitro that shuts it down.
It sounded like that was the right call, Jesse, and Dots is prepped for it. These rushes from OXG, they did not work against Heretics, and they are not working against FLUXO at all. A minute 20 into the round, and we are done. Stop doing this if you're OXG. It doesn't work. They know it's coming. They're prepped and ready for it. The Brazilians get handed a second round on a silver platter. You can't let your opponent back in the game. You cannot. OXG might have just done that, Jesse.
Actually fully gave up East there, but like to kill like our card or something. I should have said cancel, bro. That's my bad. I could have literally just taken East for free.
There was some conversation whether Yaga was actually IGLing or not. Some people couldn't believe it when they first heard it, but we've got it confirmed by the team multiple times. And I think you've got confirmation in the comms there as well. Yaga saying he should have said canceled that rush because it had been read by FLUXO W7M. What Yaga said there is that they were fully vacated East stairs. There was nobody playing off-site over towards East. The only reason FLUXO W7M wouldn't have somebody in that position is because they knew it was going to be a rush. They called everybody to come back towards the bomb site, and Oxygen still went for the rush anyways. It's good to be able to reflect on that. It's good to say, hey, I understand why we lost that round. Somehow they got a read on us, and we still went for it. We shouldn't have done that. Shows that there is still growth from this Oxygen team, and they can still pull things together despite the fact that they have a brand new IGL.
I mean, that was a great point that I was just going to bring up, Jesse. Both of these teams dealing with adjustments to their roles and the way that they call. There will be growing pains here.
Yeah.
Oxygen succeeded during the NA League regular stage. They fell flat during the playoffs and ultimately did not have the run that they wanted at Munich by not even making it. Then they didn't make SI either until the LCQs came around, and they were able to clearly beat the rest of the field. So Oxygen have had struggles. They learn from them, they grow, they improve. That's really all you can ask for. And even if they don't win this event, there's more majors coming up this year, so you have to be ready for those. This can be a great learning experience.
Oxygen currently battling for their 5th consecutive top 8 at a Six Invitational. That's what they will get if they can win this series. It starts with an opening pick onto Lobin. All 3 of his kills coming back in round number 5 when he was the key player to get FLUXO their first round in this game. It's a really good start from the captain of Oxygen to be able to get that team, that kill for his team. Now they can start taking a bit more space over towards the southeast part of this map. You can see Adam already getting control of East Stairs. You can see Dodez worried about players that might be approaching from his south. They can start to put pressure on the southern players. Once Dodez starts feeling that pressure, once he starts getting flashed out and shot from the different angles, it starts to open more and more map control for the North Americans.
So many of these rounds have been defined by getting shot from angles you are not looking at. And again, that's just border. It's hectic. It's chaotic. Soft walls, reinforcements. It means that you can get punished from ways you are not expecting. Adam, inside a break room, does not give Dodez a break. He was under fire for oh so long, and the numbers for FLUXO W7M get worse. OXG 3 kills away from taking us to map point.
Lobin died alone, Dodez died alone, Palu, the last man upstairs, still also alone, as Oxygen will be trying to hunt him down for their 3rd frag of the match. Yaga, seemingly aware of his position, knows that he's dropped the hatch now, though, as he will fall back down with a Nitro cell. Could find a good way to get a free kill if he knows Grixer's position, but I don't think they have any information up there, Parker. It could be a playoff of sound, but Palu puts the Nitro away, hoping to save it for a rainy day with 35 seconds to go.
I mean, at this point in time, you got to save it for the plant, right? That is the right call from Palu. Shotgun, SMG juggling between the two. It's now up to him and Dots as they've lost yet another player on the side of FLUXO W7M over towards jail. Gomez will be chained to that cell. And a missed opportunity. You count your lucky stars of your OXG. Dots just letting them slip through his fingers. Now Palu is called into action. A nice shot onto Grixer, but the timer will run down as a successful plant from OXG will make this even harder for the defenders. FLUXO W7M have been a terrific team for clutching. Can they pull it off? It's all up to Palu to go positive. He's not used to being here, Jesse. He's not used to these numbers being so bad for him, but OXG has been beating them every step of the way. Adam, with a team-leading 11 kills, will die. Where are the remainder of OXG. Where did these other two players go? They have fired off the defuse kit. Palu only has 3 seconds left. Nitro Cell will go. I don't think it'll work. No, that'll be the sound of the round being over. And Yaga will get the job done from above. Something the timer had already done a few seconds before OXG moves to map point.
Why not give him the hat trick? Yaga with 3 for the round. The well played coming in the chat because it was over with the Capital bolts making that disable completely impossible. Such low HP from Palu. Really felt like the same rounds that we saw for the first 6 of this match, Parker, when Oxygen were getting those kills early without FLUXO W7M being able to trade. It's always going to be players on W7M that aren't looking the right way. Oxygen are winning some of these individual 1v1 duels as well. Border is a fragger's paradise, and Oxygen have consistently been the better team when it comes to isolating players, finding them on angles they're not expecting, and winning those 1-for-1 duels. Oxygen doing, once again, so much good work of just playing the basics. They don't need to go for any crazy rushes. They don't have to cheese this against FLUXO W7M. They are beating them 1-for-1, man-for-man. You've got 4 more chances to do just that, and FLUXO W7M have not had an answer all night on Border.
Adam was not very good in map 1. Let's not mince words here, but his EPS right now rivaling that of what we saw out of Dodez in Nighthaven Labs. All the praise that we gave to Dodez now has to go to Adam. And I honestly think Adam's bounce back is even more impressive because of what I just said before. It's a bounce back. It is so easy for a great fragging player to have a terrible map and let it affect them through a series. But again, best rated player in the NA League, Stage 2, is Adam. You cannot count him out, and he is starting to grow. That is a worrying thing for this FLUXO W7M team, though I imagine there's probably other things they're worried about too.
Adam's been so good. He will take the DMR now in his hands, the 417, to try to find these last couple of players. He's got Lobin trained down his sights inside a break room, watching him potentially on this Solus, and then Volps on East Stairs playing alongside his teammate to try to get this pinch onto Adam. A lot of the players are, of course, down here on the south side of the map for Oxygen, hoping to get part of this map control before they go for a full clear across the top floor. Adam has been so patient just in this position. None of his teammates have made too much of a move either at the moment. They have brought Force out on the Monty, who will start to make his way towards security, where Dodez is positioned, and he finds the entry onto Yaga.
The team split this bomb site in the first half. This will be the first attempt for FLUXO W7M to defend it, and they start off really, really well, punching these two OXG players before they can get in. I mean, obviously you have to be concerned if you're OXG, as Dodez is now starting to warm up. But you've got so much more to do. Could he do it again, Jesse? Could he do it in back-to-back maps?
Surely not.
All he has to do is find Grixer. Palu gets to him first. Back-to-back aces would be almost unheard of, but Dodez will settle for 4 kills. And a third round now goes on board for the Bulls.
Be careful you don't wake the dragon. He's fallen asleep on Border, but with a 4K in round 9, exactly what they potentially need to get them back in this game. Dodez, clean shots being hit from inside security. That's all you have to do on this map, Parker. It really is a map where gunfights reign supreme. He hit some great shots in the midst of that. They were hoping to clear him out with the Monty, but he ended up just having 2 strong angles coming in from the 90 position and inside of security.
We got a small glimpse of what they were saying. I don't know if we could hear it. I was too busy listening to you, something that I do on occasion.
Really?
What?
Okay. No, you're doing the thing again.
I got you so good.
I'm catching on to your tricks.
I got you so good. Your powers are real. They don't work on me, man. Your powers don't work on me at all. We're introducing new bits, chat. We got that. Couldn't have said it better myself. We got the wake up motivation coupled with Folgers, which I'm going to keep trotting that out. I know there will come a point in time when somebody at either Blast or Ubisoft will be like, stop mentioning another brand. They do not sponsor our broadcast. But I'm going to keep doing it until they tell me not to.
Well, we're on the B stream, so they're probably not going to say it to you today, Parker. I'm not going to lie.
Well, there are currently almost 100,000 people watching across all different channels. The Rebellion versus Space Station game, which is now in overtime of map 3. Either FLUXO W7M or OXG will be going back to watch that game because the winner of Shopify Rebellion and Space Station plays the winner of this game in the lower bracket tomorrow. The winner of that match will go to the main stage. So you've got a 1 in 4 shot if you're Shopify Rebellion, Space Station, FLUXO W7M, and Oxygen of making it to the main stage in Paris.
For another attempt to stay alive, FLUXO W7M have brought the Denari out from Volps. Has a cool setup that we saw just briefly in the prep phase inside of security. It goes from that position across the outside of the map, as well as this one in through break room. This one goes into lockers as it goes through the open doorway and through some of these footholds shot open as well.
Now, I don't have a photographic memory, but this is an identical operator lineup from the last time that FLUXO W7M defended this back in round 7, but I distinctly remember seeing these little door lasers, so
yeah,
I
really
have
cool
to wonder. It's very, very good. And Denari is a newer operator, Jesse. Teams are still trying to figure out the tech, and you, the viewer, get to use it in your own games.
Auction's lineup will not be the same. Forrest being brought out here on the Osa, hoping to get a plant down likely inside of Archives, a plant that I have been critical of in the past, but with Osa's buffs, it can be a little bit more powerful this time around to try to get that shield down, get a plant under it. You're always worried about C4s, though, and 3 of them have been brought on the side of FLUXO W7M. Frankly, Dot seems to know exactly what is going on. If there is a pulse back here, your chances in Osa are almost null.
Osa can deploy her shield a lot faster now, so that will make a big difference. But again, a little bit too early for OXG as they are very quickly removed from the building and the diffuser drops with them, so it will need to be retrieved. Oxygen have now spent 2 of these attacks trying to be a little bit quicker and a little bit more linear than I think you'd like, and that is a bit of a problem. They can still salvage this round. Grixer is trying his best. Gomez is also attempting it too, but the damage has been done by the Brazilians, and now the North Americans will limp through this final minute of the round.
They've got the Sens wall, but I'm not sure what it's going to be worth. With the pulse, you can see through it anyways. The heartbeat scanner will tell you exactly when someone enters. They use that info for Loban to be able to get that pick, make it a 2v4 advantage, and even the Candelas might not save you here.
They've grabbed the defuse kit, and amidst the sound of the Candelas bouncing away, not to mention the strobing light show, they're attempting it, but again, this Pulse of Dots has so much power, Jesse. If you cannot flush him out of this spot, you are going to get absolutely nothing accomplished. Dots quarterbacking this entire defense and winning the round with intel. He pays for it at the hands of Gomez, but outside of the building with very limited time means that I think this is curtains for this round. On the side of OXG, Volps draws the shades, and it's still a lead for Oxygen, but very quickly the gap is closing. FLUXO W7M up to 4 rounds. What is happening with Oxygen?
We're spiraling. Potential for attack timeout now from Kizzy if he wants it, but doesn't seem like that's going to come through. So we will continue on here for Border with Oxygen on map point. You gave all the credit to Dots on the Pulse, Parker, and I have to agree. I think he was so good in that position playing on the Pulse. He just had every bit of information as to what was going on from Oxygen. That is the perfect defense to have when you're going up against an OSA Archives plant. The C4 has never been easier to deny a plant like that, and I would say almost every single kill, maybe barring the last one after he had died, is at least partially credited to Dots for feeding that intel to his teammates because they were all clustered around that Archives door. Dots came into this game leading the tournament with deaths. He had 140 deaths before the start of today's matches. That may have changed before this game as we've had a lot of matches earlier today. But even still, that's a ton of deaths to have. But when you're making good information plays like that, when you are the IGL calling for your team, the impact that you have even in the server cannot be quantified with numbers. So don't let the stats fool you. Dots has been an exceptional player for FLUXO W7M so far at this tournament, and that is a very good example of how strong he can be.
Just to contextualize this for you, the viewer, FLUXO W7M have played among the most rounds of any team up to this point in the tournament, 191 rounds. That means that Dots only survived 51 rounds of those 191. Wow. That is brutal numbers for those that can do any bit of arithmetic. So yeah, I mean, if Dots is dying a lot but still doing his job, maybe not the end of the world. His EPS is not that bad despite how terrible his deaths are, so that does go to show you he's providing some value.
Yeah.
But you can't be happy with his performance so far. FLUXO W7M 2 rounds away from sending us to overtime. If needed, there will be a third map on Kafe Dostoyevsky, but if you're Oxygen, you're hoping it gets there. If you're FLUXO W7M, you want this stream to continue. And would you look at that? It's going to be another quick one. OXG liking these quick strikes. They used the Aurora to cut off potential rotates. 3 rounds now, Jesse, that OXG have done these cheese strats, these quick rushes. I understand that it's part of the identity of any team that Forest is on, but I have to question, why don't you go for a more conventional full clear and execute with operators that are more in the meta, that are more akin to a typical border attack?
Yeah, I mean, Oxygen might like these pushes, but I sure don't. It feels like when they were playing more traditionally, when they were taking their ones and taking it slowly, they were finding success. Now with the cheese, I mean, it's just not the way that they want it to go. Palu gives up a freebie to Adam, but he's got 3 more to find Parker. Almost downs 1, but shot in the head by Dodez. It is another round win. 6-5 will be our scoreline, and you just got to think, when does the attack timeout call out? When do we slow down if we're Oxygen?
I honestly don't know. I mean, there's creativity on their side, and I do really appreciate that. Oxygen will burn their timeout as 1 round separates them. Let's see if we can listen in.
Go in for the drum hole, to bait them, they're gonna shake, they're gonna do it, and we take it off. We can just take demos, we can take this like Papa said, just play slow, and you guys have to be
I couldn't have said it better myself. I said I couldn't have said it better myself. We are trying to listen in, but obviously it is very tough. It is quite striking how clear that FLUXO W7M timeout was. But Kizzy and the rest of this OXG team, again, they're muttering, and you don't want to potentially risk your opponents hearing what you're saying.
I mean, this is the devastating spot for Oxygen to be in. They were in such strong control of this map. Of course, it was a 5-1 half. They looked dominant on the defenses, and it was, what, 6-2, I think, that they had, even with their attacks, finding some success here in the 3rd quarter, but now that we've gone deep into border, it just feels like FLUXO W7M have wrangled control. Oxygen have gone for rush strat after cheese strat, and it just hasn't been working. FLUXO W7M are always ready for these plays. Adam has had a great game. Grixer has had a great day overall, including back when he was one of the star players in their match up against Heretics. They have done some incredible stuff today, surviving so far in this tournament, but they need to lock in and win their own map pick if they want to keep this train going.
Yeah, they have completely lost the plot on this map, and this is the worrying sign. The jovial nature of this OXG team has evaporated. They are nowhere near as animated or as electric as they were in that first half, and for good reason. The defenders here on border are doing something that the numbers suggest really shouldn't be happening, and that's winning all of these rounds. FLUXO W7M, 1 round 5 on attack. OXG went on to map point on round 8, and since then they have languished. A lot of these attacks have been quite unique, but unfortunately not as well structured as they want. Very linear executes that are getting read by FLUXO W7M and going nowhere. This looks like it might be a bit more of an orthodox style of execute.
And Loban's so smart, Parker. He's using this scanner to see what the passport push is actually going for. He's been able to deny that utility by using the impact to get the Selma charges off of the wall. This is the information that FLUXO W7M have had over and over again to stop the rushes, to stop the game plan, to get an idea of what Auction are doing before they do it. It is happening again. The intel advantage is with W7M. They just need to find the kills to back it up.
And Forrest is a little slowed down by the debuff of Thorn's Razor Bloom. He's over by that security window. Palu firing as many shots into him as he can. And it's Yaga now to get dropped. Is there some retrieval to be had? Dodez knows that there's another over by the window. Down goes Gomez. Palu to the rescue! Killing half the server! OXG reduced to rubble. Grixer in the final moments of these maps has been sensational. Mr. 12 round himself, but boy, oh boy, does he have a lot of work to do. Maybe he's bitten off a bit more than he can chew. A 1v5, and it sure looks like he might pause, which means he's not going to attempt to contest this round. To overtime, they will likely go unless FLUXO W7M throws their brains out of their skull. We will need extra innings here on OXG's map.
I mean, and FLUXO W7M are playing so smart on this defensive side, Parker. Grixer essentially will just extend the tack timeout that they previously had. You saw how smart it was with Lobin using that scanner to spot the pressure coming in towards Passport. The second he uses those impacts, he stops it from happening. And then Palu sees there's a Monty coming his way inside of lockers. He doesn't throw his impact at the Monty. He doesn't try to run out and fight the Monty. He uses his shotgun to open angles from security so the Monty cannot walk forward without being in a crossfire. It's so smart. At every opportunity, FLUXO are making the correct decisions.
Yeah, and I mean, Lobin highlighting it. He pushed them over to another area where it was very disadvantageous for them to fight. Things not good right now. Vibes bad for this OXG team. Full control at the moment for FLUXO W7M. They have a incredible amount of wind at their backs. When you take those pseudo timeouts, what do you usually do? You talk.
Yep.
Not a single player on Oxygen was speaking in the final 40 seconds. Our observers cycled through the player cams, and it was almost as if it was a photo of those stoneheads on Easter Island. All 5 of the players looked exactly the same in their player cams. Forrest wasn't talking. Yaga wasn't talking. Their coach can't talk to them. What are you using that time for? Why are you not working through these problems? OXG will now need to attack twice, which conventionally sounds great on border. But stats-wise in this map has been terrible. The defenders have dominated. FLUXO W7M did it. OXG have done it. And now it's OXG on the statistical better side, but in this game, the practical worse side. And with their faces being what they are, I really worry for this NA squad.
Map 1 was a shellacking with FLUXO W7M walking away with the victory easily 7-2 on Nighthaven Labs. Map 2 looked like it was going to go the same way. 6-2 lead for Oxygen has evaporated to 6-6 overtime. Volps with a spawn peak gets punished for 50% of his HP. Is not able to control that Scorpion and so has to retreat to playing inside of East Stairs. I like the defensive lineup from FLUXO W7M, Parker. They've got Dots back on that pulse. That was the critical factor that allowed them to win Archives last time they came here in round number 10. He's able to use a little bit more of that shotgun this time around, extending in towards Office, giving his teammates over towards East a little bit more room to play with. It's going to be Palu and Volps locking down that side of the map as we continue to have this strong south pressure happening from Dodez and Lobin.
On the run to reposition themselves, better to receive this OXG attack as you see a late reinforcement going up. That should be the last one. No, there's still one remaining in pocket. Lobin will make his job a little bit easier, reinforcing off that fountain wall. So if the assault comes from Office side, you have a little bit more staying power. It will force either more drones or more gadgetry from Oxygen to punish Fountain and clear that very integral part before you can then push to the bomb site.
Adam just entering East Stairs. This was given up by Volps almost a minute ago, Parker. This is ground that Oxygen could have had a lot earlier. I'm very worried about a stall out potential. If they are mentally in their own heads, if they're not able to speed through this clear, that could spell disaster for their chances in OT.
I think the mental is chalked on this team at this point, Jesse. Not that I've ever competed at this level, but even as a viewer who's fans of different sports teams, my mental gets shocked watching people compete. I can only imagine what it's like to be the actual competitor in the server. A reminder that 3 of those 6 attacking rounds for OXG were those cheesiest rush strats.
Yeah.
You can't really hinge yourself or hang your hat on them. So now we see things a bit more conventional. Not that they were any more successful, and this round is no different. Yaga is the first one dug out by FLUXO W7M, an advantage with 45 seconds to go for the Brazilian team.
How is Dots allowed to exist here? I think they know that he's in this position, but even still, you've used both your Capital bolts finally clear it up, but there's a flank from Volps.
And he takes down Adam as the attention was all on that one part of the map. FLUXO W7M have had a rough go up border, but it sure seems like they are about to move to series point as a scramble will occur in the final 20 seconds. FLUXO W7M with a one-man advantage over this OXG team. Grixer retrieving the diffuser means that if objectives happen, Gomez will be all by himself. He's trapped Palu in a corner, but Dodes is there for the assist, and down goes Grixer to Lobin. A miraculous comeback for the Brazilians, and it's series point for FLUXO W7M.
In the history of Oxygen as an organization, they have never finished worse than 8th place at a Six Invitational. A loss over either of the next 2 rounds will guarantee 9th place for OXG, a new organizational low for them at SI. They have to find a way to dig deep here, Parker. They have to find a way out. That round, frankly, looked like better than a lot of their attacks. Their trades weren't too bad. Their pressure over towards Office was a focus push. Their util, while not perfect, was good in theory and was dealing with the problems presented to them from FLUXO W7M. Ultimately, though, it just doesn't matter. FLUXO are playing so incredibly well. Dodes has woken up to the exact same form he was in map number 1. Palu and Volps have been really lighting things up as well. And even though it's been a slow game from Lobin, the one round where he got his triple kill was the start of the end for Oxygen. That was the first round that FLUXO were able to win on this map, and it feels like it's made all the difference.
Well, I mean, you've used your timeouts. Your mental is likely shot. You get a brief reprieve. The defenders have looked really good on this map, and this will be the only attempt in overtime for Oxygen to hold down the puzzlingly, but unsurprisingly in the nature of our game, better side. I have to step back and look at those 3 rounds. I have to, and I'm not going to stop looking at them. I could only imagine what the co-streamers are thinking. I can imagine Tom J. Sherlock's voice being gone at this point in time. The head shakes from the former pros and the former coaches who are watching this. I mean, OXG are a cheesy team. We know that. But with shields and with these rushes, they didn't look particularly good against Heretics, and I feel like a bit of a Nostradamus here because I said before even a single round was played, if you're making mistakes as OXG, Team Heretics will punish you, FLUXO W7M will bury you, and that's exactly what has been occurring. So, a small breath for OXG as they get to defend, but can they keep their head in the game? That's the real question.
Gomez and Grix are under heavy pressure here on the southeast side of the map. Gomez knows one's just outside his window. That's Dodes, the highest rated player in this lobby through both maps. He's just playing on the other side of the break door. He's got teammates with him as well. Dots on East. The Nitro shot out with the DMR. That's not an easy shot to hit, but he flicks down and denies the utility from Gomez.
There's been so much we've been focusing on. Jesse, Dodes has got up to 14 kills out of nowhere. There's just so many things that we can't even talk about. Palu takes care of Adam, the best statistical player on the side of OXG. Now Grixer will need to pick up the pace. He's getting very close to that number. Mezzanine still being held by Gomez, who's doing double duty, harassed by this death mark, and he gets Palu taking some damage from this position, and nade goes out. He's not able to deal with Lobin. FLUXO W7M now snatching the lead, leaving Forrest and Yaga to keep their team in this. They go home if they fail. OXG knows what pressure is, and with just a little bit over a minute to go, they've now got the advantage right back. The current IGL, the former IGL working together, and of course, it's all up to Dodes in this pivotal round, as if anybody else on FLUXO W7M could clutch out. Just under a minute to go, the North Americans holding their breaths for the final 45 seconds.
He's been so good today, Parker. He's been insane in every moment when he's been asked.
He hears something. Zoto canister will go, slowing down his push towards this B-bomb site. He could have had a read. Force is making an awful lot of noise. Dodes reveals himself to Yaga. Oh, and you can let out that air that was filling your lungs. Deep breaths, boys. We will go all 15. A good defensive hold. Some light in the eyes of these OXG players. We are either 3 minutes away from a conclusion or an hour plus away. Do we need the final map? It will really come down to OXG on attack. They have struggled. Do they fix it? This is their last chance.
Parker, it was a 2v3 that just got away from FLUXO. They had everything they needed to end this series and send Oxygen home. But with over a minute on the clock, they got antsy. They took 1v1s. They opened the door for Oxygen to get back in this series. One round is all that will determine where we end up. If this is the final map, if FLUXO can go to bed with smiles on their faces, or if we need a full another map of Kafe to decide who will be the champion and who is going home. Almost nobody thought Oxygen could take down the former major champions in a series like this with everything on the line, despite the strong game against Heretics to start this day. I mean, so much has been asked of this Oxygen squad with how long they've had to play today. It took 12 rounds on both maps to win that 2-0 earlier. Map 3 and the third one that they played against FLUXO, their first of the series, was a disaster. They choke out their 6-2 lead. Now it's 7-7. Is there any way that they have the mental to bring this one home?
I've seen enough. Welcome back, Dark Zero. My goodness. And OXG still have a whole other map to go. You're talking like this is map number 3. No.
It feels like it.
This is just to survive at this point. This could be a long road to walk for a team that had a tough group and immediately found themselves in the lower bracket. And yes, an improbable 2-0 victory over Heretics earlier today. But they are the more experienced team. They are a T1 squad, even if they made it through the LCQs. This OXG team is a bit of an enigma. What happens now? 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Settling in now outside of the building. Oxygen, quick, again, going with a bit more conventional of an execute. They have shed that cheese, but my, Adam dying to a nitro cell is probably not part of the plan. Very quickly, OXG will need to retrieve that diffuser surrendered outside of the building. That's a good start for FLUXO W7M.
Doss just in customs is able to toss it over the wall, get that first pick, and that's a huge one for him. A second is Forrest is down through the window. Now they could pick him up. Dots inside the site is not able to capitalize on that full clear. They toss a toxic babe out to try to get the cure on the kill, but Forrest has crawled away far enough that he should be safe to pick this one up, but this is wasting so much time, Parker.
Gomez gets on the board. Forrest is retrieved. What could have been bad to worse has somehow managed to get a little bit better. A logic bomb will go out, so the remaining FLUXO W7M players now heard if you're close enough. But OXG struggled to get into the building. Just a little bit over a minute left. Utility will go out. Isolating these roamers upstairs will be a focal point for Oxygen as they work their way towards this AB bomb site. Forrest here with a potential backstab. He's got a good read, but he gets baited in by Paulu. Finished off, and now it's the Brazilians with another advantage.
They're all towards east. They're all grouped together for OXG, and W7M know exactly where they're coming from. The crosshairs are trained in the right position. It's just about hitting the shots.
And Gomez is doing this against his own region, a Brazilian who's played in North America for most of his career. He's making quick work of these defenders. FLUXO W7M, great patience right now. Gomez finds a third, and he is willing his team into map number 3. He has an opportunity for a fourth. Paulu wants the engagement. Dots also from far away, but he's left Paulu inside of the bomb site all by his lonesome. What can Palucifer do? Yaga getting diffuser down. Dots now retreating through the top floor. The timer running away. OXG finding their footing here on attack. And we might just have a third map in front of our very eyes. They know exactly where Dots is. Now they defend the bomb site. And the interloper, the last man standing for the Brazilians, has his work cut out for him. He sees the defuse kit. He doesn't see Grixer. And we will have a third map. The relief sweeps through OXG. Inhale. Exhale.
Oh my God.
What more can be said, Jesse? I couldn't have said it better myself. A third map between these two teams as OXG gets the job done in the 15th and final round.
Me too, man. Me too. What a game that they just played. Still a third map awaits us in this one. Grixer top fragging for the team, but frankly, Parker, it's Gomez who needs to put on that cape. The hero of round 15, a triple, pushing in through the E stairs, finding the bodies of W7M exactly when they needed to. Just like last time, we will head to a third map between Oxygen and W7M.
I mean, it's a team effort, but you gotta be regretting all of those attacks if you're OXG. Don't make those mistakes. Center yourself. You came back mentally for map 2. Do it again for map 3. FLUXO W7M could taste that 2-0, but they'll have to wait for map 3 up next.
Signs in the sky and the stars around us fade to black. Run into the night and there's nothing that can hold us back. Just feel the thunder in my heart till the lights go out. If I go down into the dark, won't be turning now. I'm gonna fly, break on through, 'cause I'm human just like you. We get so high, bulletproof, 'cause I'm human just like you, like you. Master of disguise, we're becoming something more tonight.
my god, Anne, fast Anne. Oh my god, can you please sign this photo? Can you please sign this photo?
You pulled this off my, what is it?
No.
No, I see the hand on it. This is not from me. You had someone else involved in this.
Fast mama and fast Colin.
Oh my, you reached out to my mom for this as well? And okay, well, yeah.
But
this is,
can you tell us about this look? It's a strong look.
yeah. You know these sunglasses, the Miu Miu, like, or the whatever brand it is, sorry, glasses that are in right now? I feel like I was setting a trend with that back in the day already.
This is very similar to the photo shoots that we've done for the production so far.
Yeah, so I was planning ahead of time, I think. When I was probably like, how old would I be here? 2, 3 maybe?
I thought about 11 or 12, but
No.
maybe.
Right, okay.
If you could please sign it, we need to,
Yeah.
What
are you going to do with it?
Keep them, they're for me.
Okay.
I'm a really big fan.
You going to hang it above your bed?
Yeah.
Then I will
I've
sign
got a whole wall.
Alright.
Thank you so much, Anne. I love your work. Thank you so much.
FLUXO W7M Armory, Wamai in long. Box rotate, headers Armory, fitter CC, headers. I will put like this, but it's basically headers and rotate. And about the utility, the Wamai is playing around east, so he's putting the Wamai for himself. The recruit is putting wire on metal and wire easters in case 5 per square.
So Ash is going to spawn here, and it's going to throw an Ash here on the table, because you can break the Goyo, like if you throw an Ash. So
Yeah.
really fast, he's going to throw this Ash and already break the Goyo. Glass is going to come here with the Blitz to do the plant, and Thatcher here on the window. Ash comes here and break the other Goyo on the window.
Okay.
And then Ash is going to enter below with the drone that Capitan, that's going to play here, is looking for her. She enters below, plays there. Just to guarantee the C4s and stuff like that. And on the time of the plant, she's going to climb the metal stairs.
Yeah.
Glass is going to smoke here with the Blitz, so 4 smokes, they're just going to spam smokes. And Glass is going to
Push
come
deep.
here, push, and kill the guy doing C4, maybe kill the guy on armor as well. Capitan is going to throw a fire here on this position, that's very common, and a fire here. Ash is going to push the stairs, and Blitz is going to plant right here because it's not really common. And if the guy can throw a C4, but you have Thatcher, so it's really hard, maybe Blitz is going to tank it. So that's it.
We can go next round. No, I mean, that's actually really good. And I guess when the Ash is destroying the Goyo, you just open his door, you open the other side. So you basically can't guess you will do this. And then after the Ash pushing up metal, if you don't expect this, then the round is literally over from there. We don't have smoke, we don't have warden, we are dead. So yeah, no, I think by far it's Felipox round this one.
Thank you, bro. You won this time.
Honestly, a lot of players are scared of you, obviously. We were suspicious because you're too good. Like, that was literally what happened. And I'm the one who sent the email, so like, I'm the one who did it, that's the story, right? None of us really thought that you were legit. back then.
Jack, fresh. Oh my god, please, can you sign this photo of you? How do you have this photo? Please, we're really big fans, actually. Can you tell us about this photo?
No, I shouldn't.
Well, this is actually Mama Fresh delivered this.
Excellent.
Towards us. Thank you.
My mother has been providing photos again.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you all for the broadcast. Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
reinforce off these 2 walls here. This would be a flex wall. We're gonna put it like this, just say that it's like a flex. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Then positioning, we'd have the 2 brow play here with the C4 and like the DMR. You could play between like weed, like the metal area is what we call it. So we can either react to that or the weed wall based off what they're doing. We'd start the Valk. I'll just put it right here so it's easy to see on that side. And then we'd have the Fenrir as the last guy. He'd be here, contesting for tools side, really kind of being a menace over there. And this guy as well, like when they're trying to go for that tools wall, I'd have these zombie pressed up unless there's lower pressure, like trying to contest off that door, just being a menace a little bit. Not really looking for a pick, but looking to delay time.
Basically for the start, we can put it like that. So I would put him like around these windows. So if we need help to hold or whatever, he will be rotate. If your Azami really fall back and manage to, like I think it would be around here. Right?
She'd be like all the way back. I'd put her like right here probably.
So, like the things how it would go as well. Like once we take like the control of garage, I would put maybe the Capitan around this area.
Yeah,
just to hold this position. Normally they place our jabs and rotate out for the door to help onto the push. I think we would put the Ing here to be playing into the main breach, but it depends on the green take. Like if you're trying to force too much the green take, I would put like the Ing here to come to try to help. But if it's like you're just giving away, trying to fall it back, I would just keep the Ing there. So like if you guys are just falling back to hold into power positions, I would say that the Deimos can come from below as well to try to help. And as I said, this Hibana here, it will be like a flex. I don't really count on her. It's more to get the Clash attention. If Clash is still here, it's
that's
good.
the biggest thing. I would want the Clash to rotate over play Ivy. Is like what I'd want originally.
Yeah, so if like the Clash goes back into this side, I would put this Hibana to try to sneak in and play.
And the 2 brow playing back here is ideally what it'd be.
And then after like dealing with the Clash over here, I think this guy would be already played, so it's like he won his fights as well, or he lost, and then we got the control of this area, kind of, and we just cross.
That's assuming nobody dies early.
Yeah.
Or just swings and gets killed, you know?
Exactly.
Because that's what happens a lot of times in our game. Like
making the capital fire over there, and then
dude,
exploded.
I'm gonna go call out for this.
Still have the flashes from Hibana?
You do.
It could go either way, frankly.
It could go either way. Very, very close though.
Yeah.
Korea with a cake. You know what time it is. Birthday time. Today is Twister's birthday. Let's go. Cadê ele? Where is he? Where is he? Ô, Twister, chegou o teu momento. He didn't notice me. Ô, Twister, todo mundo? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Twister. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Vai. Woo! So, boa! I'm not gonna ask you your wish because it might be to lift a hammer, but you are doing so great in secret, so that might happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think like in the moment right now, the team is just flowing, so I'm very happy with the results. And for sure, if I have one thing to ask, it's just the biggest achievement of my career. But what is that?
You have won all of your games, also FLUXO, and you are playing against them today. It might be a gift to also win over them.
Exactly. If we win today against them, I think it's a good showing for the team to go through groups without a single loss, and also to boost the confidence of the group for the playoffs. So yeah, a big gift.
Should be more worried, you or them?
Who should be more what, sorry?
Worried.
Worried. I think Dan right now, they had like a few shaky games, but I still think it will be a good game. Maybe even a 3 maps game, but we might get it.
Let's not talk about game. Just like you have some lunch. What is the gift you're gonna give him for his birthday?
A win.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Happy birthday, Twister.
Every Six Invitational final is a storm of pressure, a clash of tension. They leave a mark that doesn't fade.
Boston, are you ready? The Six Invitational 2025 begins now!
We need to want it, CSI. We need to want it.
Everybody always talks about being mentally prepared for a game. And no one really knows what that looks like.
Especially that pressure of SI. As a player, that eats you up.
Everything is possible.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's fucking go.
Signs in the sky and the stars around us fade to black. Running through the night and there's nothing that can hold us back. Just feel the thunder in my heart till the lights go out. If I go down into the dark, won't be turning now. I'm gonna fly, break on through, 'cause I'm human just like you. We get so high, bulletproof, 'cause I'm human just like you, like you. Up the skies, we're becoming something more than night.
Thank you so much for your patience amidst that longer than expected delay. We are ready to see what happens in this very pivotal third map between these two teams. They've had some time to sort through some issues and get themselves on the same page. So now a best of one will separate these two teams. It'll be on Kafe Dostoyevsky. Jesse, one of these teams will go onward, the other will go home. An impressive comeback from FLUXO W7M fell just short. Do they have what it takes to close it out, or does OXG continue on their miracle run today? Map 3 is ready.
FLUXO W7M enter this third map on a 4-game winning streak when playing on Kafe. That includes beating FaZe Clan back during the SAL finals at the tail end of last year. And then Secret, SSG, and D+ Kia all fell to this Brazilian squad here at the Six Invitational. They know what it takes to win on this map, and it'll be up to Oxygen to problem solve, to dig deep, and to find the answers that very few others could find on this map. They go through the operator ban phase and remove a double shield comp for FLUXO W7M to play with. That'll be targeted towards Dots, who will not be allowed to play those shields anymore, and FLUXO W7M removing the oh-so-powerful Mira and Valkyrie to start this game.
Locate and defuse bombs.
Well, some time for these teams to get themselves back in the game. FLUXO W7M definitely seemed to capture lightning in a bottle on that second map, ultimately falling short in a very critical 15th and final round. And boy, oh boy, was that a thrilling one. So what happens here on Kafe? These two teams decently evenly matched, but I would obviously give the nod to FLUXO W7M just over the course of those two maps that we saw. Jesse, not all maps and not all results are created equal.
That's true, but they all have equal results, Parker, and that is a win in the series. And this one, I guess this one's a little bit more important than winning the last two maps. You could make that argument. The decider, always the one that will determine who the victor is. It's going to be a top floor defense from Auction to start things off, and some good drone hunting to begin from Gomez will start to hurt that drone economy that FLUXO W7M were using oh so well back on border. It's something we touched on briefly with this team. The information they seem to have on both sides, in fact, maybe even more so on the defense, was a big reason for their success. And it once again delivers them an opening pick with Volps finding Gomez on the mid floor.
Walks in, kills Gomez, leaves, refuses to elaborate. I mean, hey, if it wasn't for Gomez's 3K in that 15th and final round of border, we do not get here.
Yeah.
He was incredibly good at keeping things together, finding opportunities on that final round. Now he will not be able to have any influence whatsoever. And dying on the Soulless, that is a purely active gadget. So it's not even like you've set down your gadget somewhere. You are just completely ineffective. That is a devastating loss for this OXG team.
Well, the job is still far from over. FLUXO W7M hoping to clear through Piano. They almost naded out Yaga playing here on the Clash. Combined with the Kiba barriers, Piano control is going to be really difficult to take for the Brazilian team. They've already gotten control of top red, and they are here inside of Cigar. There's nobody going in for a flank, so Loban is watching for nothing, but really the threats are Paulu and Yaga and Forest playing in this defensive side up, inside of Piano, inside of Bathroom. Often you'd see teams playing this with a mirror window, but of course with it banned out, the Clash is the next best thing.
Absolutely agree with that. So, a minute and a half now off of the board. You bought yourself a reprieve with that first pick. You've got the Clash there to quarterback and give information because, as you pointed out, you wanted the Soulless to do that. Now it's Yaga as he moves along with Grixer with that Lion scan going off. Volp still has one more remaining, and this attack getting ever closer to this side of Cocktail. All right. Dot's getting Diffuser down. Clash is still there. Loban removes the problem that was Yaga. The obstacle is now gone. Dot's got choked out by that gas, so he will have to attempt yet again. If he even finds an opportunity to do so. There's a possibility that FLUXO W7M kills all of OXG before we get to that point.
Yeah, hoping to go for a plant. Volps gets a third, though, so Forest will fall. Still one more Toxic Babe being held by Grixer. This is their only opportunity to deny a plant. It gets thrown out in towards Trash and opens the door for Dots to maybe get a plant default.
And Grixer's last man standing now. He will find a single kill, and that will be all she wrote. Garbage time, garbage kills, as they're referred to in traditional sports. We can import that term over here. Jesus.
The energy being felt by FLUXO. They're trying to get themselves hyped. It was a long break between maps 2 and 3, so they've got to keep that energy rolling. Potential for Gomez and Kizzy to understand that as the two Brazilians on the roster for OXG. Everybody else might be a little lost on them. Nice little clear, Parker. Honestly, it comes back down to that information, an early gunfight onto Gomez, and then a very direct take. Yes, Palu was trying to hit the back at the end there, coming in through the white window, but in the end, it was just that forward push coming in largely off the back of Lobin and Volps, who were able to make that space, get themselves into a plant position. Didn't plant in the end of it, but got themselves close enough that Oxygen felt like they had to make their moves, felt like they had to step up. Really clean round to start from FLUXO W7M. OXG cannot afford to go down early on this first half.
No, of course not. And again, the stakes for those of you that have not watched any of the previous maps between these two teams, the loser of this series goes home, meaning the loser of Kafe goes home. It makes it actually quite easy for you to follow along.
Yes.
Win Kafe, you move on. Lose Kafe, you join a growing list of teams that have now been eliminated here at the Six Invitational. While we were in the middle of our second map, while Border was still underway, we did get a conclusion on the other stream of who the winner of this series will play tomorrow. If FLUXO W7M or OXG advance onwards, and fans of both teams will want that, they will go up against Space Station Gaming. Shopify Rebellion beaten by their rivals in North America. SR's run is finished. SSG will do battle with whichever team is successful here, with Forest dying early. FLUXO W7M are hoping it's them, and within their graphs, a second round might even be possible.
Opens the door for Grixer to overtake his former team if they can get the victory against FLUXO W7M. Now I'm sure that would feel sweet after being dropped at the beginning of this season and being moved over to this Oxygen squad. They've lost their opening body, though, for the second time. Forest goes down without a kill, and this Sens wall will make it very difficult for the VIP player of Yaga to stop this plant from going down through Freezer. Now, he is on the Tubarão, so likely has some options to still see through this and potentially stop somebody dropping through that Freezer hatch. It's what he's currently watching for. The Sens walls can be powerful, but they get stalled out by the Zoto canister before anyone's able to drop. They go back up, though, down once more. It's been a game of juggling.
Zoto canisters have been really strong for this OXG team, being used to deny some more information and deny pushes and gadgets from FLUXO W7M. Palu huffing in an awful lot of gas, as now it's the Brazilians on the wrong side of this 3v4. But Dodez is always a scary player. He's dropped double digits in both maps. He's already got 2 kills, yet to die so far throughout this Kafe. And Oxygen will lose the advantage that they had, leaving Adam and Gomez in this spot. Adam just off site, Gomez still tucked in the bomb site. Technically not, as he's in prep, but a few steps away. You gotta give me this one.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, Parker. They're hunting for these kills without playing together. They've got to find a way to get the pinch onto the site players. Dots is in a position for a plant. There's a Nitro Cell in the pocket of Gomez. That's their only tool to stop it other than 2 impacts from Adam. Misses the first shots and now is ready for the Nitro.
Gomez's position by those rack and rolls inside a kitchen has been spotted, so where is Adam to be the question mark for this FLUXO W7M team? They don't know Adam's positioning. He's now made his way out of coat check over towards Whiskey and might find an opportunity through Freezer. Dots has been dropped, but Adam will find some urgency now as Dodez attempts the plant. Palu will cover. Dots still down. Adam looking for the vault over, finishing off. Dots getting Palu for his troubles. He will need a 4K. The fire will now work against him, as his own Goyo canister keeps him from getting closer to the bomb site. He sees the red dot on the wall, so he has an idea of where Dodez is. Waiting for that fire to now disappear. Dodez playing this one so patiently. It's Adam who has to respond to the timer, making an awful lot of noise over towards Whiskey. Dodez playing this so well, running out of time. He just needs to prevent Adam from getting there with the clock being what it is. Dodez will shut him down. Either way, I don't think if Adam had won that duel, he'd have enough time to get to the kit. Those are forceful words from Palu, and I don't even know what he's saying. I feel like it's slightly targeted. Nice. FLUXO W7M up 2-0 and an immediate timeout by OXG.
It's like our bar defense, but instead the bomb is above, like the bomb is down. So let's do like Castle and Azami, play like Avengers, but we're gonna spend time and go down,
Yeah, what do you want to ban? I'm gonna play Azami. We should play. I can play Ward. I can play Ward next week. Alright.
Attackers need to locate.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There it is. Oxygen, a pretty quiet tack timeout. We did hear the game plan, though. Castle and Azami is what was called for by Coach Kizzy. Likely on some of the other bomb sites where they want to play around that top floor, when they want to play up around Piano, that's probably going to be their game plan. They did use the Azami alongside the Clash back in round number 1. Frankly, it looked like a successful strategy, but ultimately it was cleared out by FLUXO W7M, even if it did manage to buy them some time. Asking for a final operator ban at the end there. Sounds like something happened on the A stream, so I didn't hear what they were hoping to ban after round 3, but we won't have to wait long to find out. It is, I think, very fitting, very telling, very iconic that final round ended with a 1v1 between Dodez and Adam. These have been the star players throughout this series, with Dodez going crazy on map number 1 to take over and win it for FLUXO W7M. Adam starting map 2 extremely hot. These are the two primary entries from both teams. I think most would tell you that these are the two most talented individual players, at least when it comes down to just raw mechanics on each of the two sides, and it's going to be on both of them to step up big for their squads if they want to win the decider here of Kafe.
Absolutely. And I mean, to call a timeout so early, a lot of teams do admittedly call a timeout after round 2 to get ahead of that round 3 ban. The chart that you referenced, I think it was in the first game we saw earlier today when you referenced the efficiency of timeouts and when they get called. It really is quite a good graph, and I don't know if it's been shown on the A stream at all with the desk segment. I
don't believe so. We got our hands on a graph that basically showed when tack timeouts get played, and the most common tack timeout so far through SI was just after round 3. Just before round 3 was actually relatively rare, but I mean, typically these early couple of tack timeouts after round 2, round 3, round 4 is when a lot of them are getting used. Partly just because games don't always go so deep into rounds 10, 11, 12, and beyond.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great graphic and a good asset, as there will be a rush in now from FLUXO W7M. OXG tried this a few times. They are waiting to bait out all of that gas. Dots gets destroyed. Yokai blasts, gas, bullets, everything going his way. A real death magnet on the side of FLUXO W7M, and that will be 90 seconds that have been burned, and the defuse kit dropped, which might be the bigger issue here. So now FLUXO W7M will have to retake that part of the map. Dodez on the board, continuing his great play. He is averaging over 1 kill a round. He's 4-0. Down goes Palu. Volp's on the board now. These teams trading back and forth. Dodez will finally die, and it's all up to Loban to win a 1v2. He's got a good read on the Echo, but Grixer's sidearm does the job. The North Americans will blunt the momentum of the Brazilians as they finally get on the board.
It's really that support duo coming in clutch for Auction to get their first round here on Kafe. It's Grixer late round to clean up those couple of kills, but it's, I think, the smoke from Forest who really comes out clutch to start that round, deals so much damage over to the Blackbeard. And the second that the fuse kit goes onto the floor, Parker, without being planted, everything kind of falls to pieces for FLUXO W7M. Credit to Dodez for killing the smoke midway through that round, but he needed that frag a little bit earlier to keep his Blackbeard alive. This play by Dots, going down to this Toxic Babe, then on a sliver of HP, it's Yaga who finds the shoulder in the end, and then chaos of kills. Loban doing his best there to backstab from behind, but just not quite enough. Oxygen Esports saved themselves after their tack timeout from going down 3-0 and are still very much in this early game.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall of that SSG SR game, by the way. I do want to come back to that a little bit. We've had so many good games through our 2 phases here at Paris. There's always a question of what the best and most competitive SI has been. And I mean, I don't know if you can immediately put this one in the conversation. I think it will really live or die off of that phase 3, because there are sometimes where we have amazing group stages and then we don't really have the best live stage. And then other times we'll have incredible live games. And then the group stage was a bit of a snooze fest. This has been a bit of an interesting event. We've had some absolute blowouts. We've had some incredible matches. This one going all the way. Right now, G2 Secret on the other channel. That one will likely be an incredible match. I suspect as much, at least if the hooting and hollering that I hear is any indication. It should be a good one too. G2 now starting to find their footing. Team Secret slowly losing their grip. That probably has to be the storyline. At least if we were casting that, it's probably what we would lean into. But again, here we are with our own storyline. And that's OXG backs perpetually against the wall, going through this run, looking to continue their streak of finishing top 8. In order to get there, they have to overcome this FLUXO W7M team, which is far from a given. It almost looked like we were going to have FLUXO W7M win at 2-0. On border did not come to pass. Now they have an opportunity to seal the deal.
Well, this OXG team almost got grouped, Parker. If you'll remember, it came down to the final match of the group stage, the final game on B Stream, where they played against Enterprise Esports for the final spot in playoffs. They were successful in a pretty dominant win over the Australian team, so that was a lot of success coming out from Oxygen. Then they proved even more people wrong by beating Heretics earlier today, and a win over FLUXO W7M would certainly silence some haters. Here comes the utility briefly into Piano. They start to open up onto this top floor, and you can see that the players on Oxygen haven't really committed to contesting Piano side. I was wondering when they called for both Azami and Castle if this is where it was going to be used. We haven't seen the Castle be played since the tack timeout, but the Azami so consistent from Yaga, not banned out after round number 3, which has allowed them to continue to play up on this top floor, stalling things out with Toxic Babe. Strong utility play from Oxygen Esports, but everybody's still alive, almost 2 minutes deep.
A very slow round for both of these teams. I mean, hey, we're used to the breakneck paces of OXG on their attacks, so now we have to get used to settling into slightly slower but more calculated aggression from FLUXO W7M.
We're not on border anymore, Parker.
Wow. What? When did that change? Dots will walk in, assert himself. Down goes Gomez. Yes, a lot more needs to be done to figure out Kafe. Absolutely correct. A far more strategic map, but one that still allows for lots of strong gunplay. And right now, it's been FLUXO W7M to start that off. Yaga will answer back. Admittedly, 30 seconds later, so no trade to be had. No advantage anymore either. This top floor looking to be cleared out, but there is a belated flank after his kill. Yaga now getting a little bit more aggressive on red stairs. Those track stingers being a bit of a hurdle for him to go over. A spiky impediment. Oh no. Not expecting Forrest in that position. The smoke getting under the skin of Dodez as Paulu strikes as well. These two teams with 6 players alive, 3 apiece, 5 seconds left. They need to get Diffuser down. Dots will attempt it. He's managed to kill all of them except for Yaga, who's now making his way over towards the bomb site. He won't be able to shut this one down. Oh! No, he does! Through the drone hole at the last second. A creative play by the young North American and a stunning finish to that round. My God! He almost missed it.
We answer back in Portuguese.
You could see it in his head. Wait, hold on a second. No, there's a drone hole there. I should check that.
Yeah, I honestly, it looked like there was somebody on his team that made the call, like, hey, you can get him through the drone hole. Nearly ran right past it, and it looked like he was going to. Then in the 1vx, it would have been really awkward to try to secure that kill, but he barely finds the foot through the drone hole. The plant spot betrays Dots in the midst of that. He was already so low HP from earlier in the round. Such a smart play from Yaga. Clutches up in the 1v3 to win it for OXG and tie this game. I really thought the clock was going to do it for FLUXO W7M, and I guess in the end it did. Failing on time after the plant gets denied. It took them ages to push through that top floor, largely because of the utility play that was coming out from OXG, Toxic Babes, Kiva barriers. So much utility was used to stall them on that top floor clear, and it all paid off in the end.
Unbelievably quick thinking by Yaga as the wheels turned in real time. Fantastic stuff from the Somewhere in America player. Oh, that's your thing if you want.
Marion, Iowa, our best Iowa player ever in Rainbow Six history. The only one, to my knowledge.
Goddess was from Iowa.
True. I will go on record saying Yog is a better player than Goddess. No shade thrown.
Goddess now a full-time streamer, last affiliated with Sonics, if I recall correctly. And a fun little tidbit here when we were talking about the efficiency and immediate translation and success of these timeouts. The original graphic we saw at SI a couple of years back, Goddess was actually the most successful coach.
Yeah.
After timeouts when she was on that Sonic roster. She retired a while ago. I don't know if she's still affiliated with the Rainbow Six scene at all. I do know she streams on her own personal Twitch channel. Goddess is really quite a lovely person, and we hope that she is doing well in her retirement. She is, as we like to call it in the business, free. So
escaping the the Rainbow Six esports ecosystem, but frankly, there's no place I'd rather be, Parker. We're here on Kafe for round 5. This is still map 3 to figure out who's going to move on through the lower bracket. The Twitch drone causing havoc inside the site. Cleared a couple of those Goyo canisters to make things a little bit easier when FLUXO get into the execute part of the bomb site. Volps was very close to finding the head of somebody down beneath him. Could have been able to work one of those earlier picks, but not finding the value yet.
Buck with, of course, 2 good guns. DMR's leading the way. Every single game we see a good DMR. We always tell you, the viewer, go into your game, equip DMRs. You will gain elo, I promise you. You're playing Twitch and you run the F2? Not smart. Run the 417. It's the best statistical gun of the game at the moment. You just need to make sure you're clicking or pulling the trigger a couple times. Shaping up for this death drop now inside of Freezer. And, I mean, FLUXO W7M not getting cold feet here whatsoever as they now have an opportunity to go for that plant. They just need to worry about Yaga in this position. Surveying the wreckage of that wall. Dear God, look at that. Yaga punished from above, not really expecting Loban in that position. ROU projectors going out. Volps now still holding from above. This top floor control will be a major thorn in the side of OXG. 25 seconds remain. Dots attempting the plant. Loban finds his second kill. Volps with coverage from above, choking out this oxygen defense. Now it's all up to the 2 remaining players on the side of OXG. A third kill for Loban and a flawless end to the round for FLUXO W7M, blunting the momentum of OXG and regaining the lead for the Brazilians.
Really good push coming out from FLUXO W7M. They had full top floor control, Parker. I thought the Sens play coming out from Dots was absolutely phenomenal. They didn't know where that plant was going down on the side of OXG. Grix are just at the end trying to put that defuse, or trying to smoke out the coffee plant position, and it very well could have been going down over there. Because of the Sens wall, they had no idea where plant was happening, but it was just tucked up close on the bomb chassis, and that is good enough for FLUXO W7M to get it down. Everybody scrambling on the side of Auction after that happens. They failed to stop them on the freezer drop. They failed to stop them with the Toxic Babes, and it ends up just being a really clean start to finish from FLUXO W7M.
I mean, this is one of the big issues with that bottom floor bomb site, right? It is, to many, the coveted site on this map, but if you don't roam, or if you fall off the roam too early, or if you get killed on the roam, if you lose control of that middle floor and they still have soft destruction, a Ram, a Buck, a Sledge, even a Deimos or a Jackal with his secondary shotgun, you are going to have a really, really hard time. I mean, Gridlock's an operator that's getting locked in right now. She also has the super shorty.
Yep.
I remember way back in the day when casters would get clowned for saying that Jackal was a Buck substitute on certain maps because of his secondary shotgun, and now look at us.
I mean, Jackal in 2026 would be a sight. I'll say that, Parker.
I'm not saying he's a good option. I'm just saying he exists. as an option.
Let's go take a look. Second lowest pick rate of all attackers at the Six Invitational. Only Yana has a lower presence than Jackal at the moment. 3 wins, 2 losses for Jackal. It's before today.
Honestly forgot Yana existed.
Yeah, most people do at this point in the meta. Shaiko may be the one holdout that still likes to bring her from time to time. Very much a comfort gun for him, but util-wise, there are always better options when you're making an attacking lineup. FLUXO W7M will bring some of those options. Grim has been, I believe, the highest presence operator here at SI so far, and Dots has jumped onto that operator to try to make some space for his teams. It will be a top floor clear. Top floor take, I should say, as this is where the bomb site is at, but watch out for Forrest. We just saw him down in Bakery. If he gets information as to somebody on the piano windows, Parker, he could run out the Bakery door and stop somebody out on the window. It could be a devastating play if they're not ready for it.
FLUXO W7M have been leading the way on opening picks, but again, they have been the ones setting this pace, so of course, if they get that opening pick, they go on to convert pretty well. They almost get it. My goodness, Gomez suffering through this. They'll get Yaga for their troubles, so the intended target is not the one to go. A run out from Forrest, and it's a nice lamp fixture, but it's not actually a player. So Forrest is miles away from this bomb site. That means that the rest of these OXG players dropping like flies will have even more work on the bomb site. Can you buy enough time for Forrest to get up? No, you can't. Loban is on the flank watch. Down goes Forrest. Things going from bad to worse. Another flawless round incoming for FLUXO W7M unless Adam can muster anything, and no, he cannot. They flawlessly do it yet again in the first half. 4-2 for FLUXO.
There's the castle we were hearing about in attack timeout, Parker, but it doesn't stop FLUXO from making that push in through the top floor, in through Piano. Dota has some beauty shots as he pushes through Piano into the bulk of the OXG defenders. Force on that Bakery runout, you know, I really like the idea, but it happens way too late. There were players on those windows for so long that he could have spotted on the runout, but in the end, by the time he's out there, everybody has gone back in. Everybody's already pushing through the top floor trying to find those kills. They left an impossible task for Adam and Grixer trying to stall things out with the smoke, but in the 2v5, there's just not a lot that you can do from that point. They lose their defensive half 4-2. They now move over to the attack. This is starting to get awkward, Parker. This is where we'd expect FLUXO W7M to run away with it. OXG need to upset expectations.
Kafe Dostoyevsky enters as the second most played map in terms of rounds played, but technically tied for second, I suppose, and most picked. I guess technically Clubhouse has the small advantage, just eking out. I guess these are stats from before the previous series, so either way, second, third, doesn't really matter. A very popular map across all regions, and an incredibly defender-sided map. Not the most defender-sided, but it is in the top 3 for a defender win rate. Again, I don't really see any of these operator bans that I think will change that. Mira and Azami are staples on this map because of their ability to allow you to roam. They can also allow you to hold down that cocktail bomb site upstairs that a lot of teams aren't going to these days relatively well. I like FLUXO getting rid of both of the shields. We have not really seen a lot of success from the shields in the hands of OXG. Now they are limited to 2 options, Blackbeard or Fuse Shield, should they go there. And I mean, you and I cast the NA League. We could literally do a, what's the opposite of a highlight reel of Forrest trying to make a Fuse Shield work on this map. Unfortunately, he is just a poor substitute, and I like that we are not seeing a shield being forced into this OXG lineup.
We saw it earlier today, actually, in their game against Heretics, where they used a Fuse plus Sens combo to have a really cool execute down onto the bottom floor. As they dropped in through the freezer hatch, it could have done something very similar, but obviously FLUXO would have seen that game. They were watching it earlier today, and they should be aware of that, as OXG are playing Kafe for the second time in 24 hours. So instead, it's pretty much just a direct take, Parker. I don't think they care about the top floor control. They are just going for Bakery, trying to find a way to work a pick, even though they're staring down Paulo in the clash.
And I do worry about too much of a linear take. I worry about the time for OXG. We saw 3 rounds on Border. I know it was a long time ago, but people with longer memories will recall how cheeky they could get and how it didn't work. Adam, the leadoff pick. And that'll give OXG an opening. Shield goes down as Palu is waiting for an engagement, and because of his position, he can very easily pick off that hard destruction, negating Adam and anybody else that wants to push towards that wall.
Dodes creeping upstairs, but I think Forrest is ready for this. He's been playing inside a train for ages. He calls the logic bomb now and is starting to hunt for something that he might expect with this flank being played by the Goyo. Here's the top down, but Forrest is going towards red. That's not the way the Goyo went, and if he's not careful, the flank from Dodes could work out despite the Dokkaebi.
He's broken double digits in all of these maps so far. He's 1 kill away from doing it again. Dodes, a real sensation here. And he's been the raid boss that OXG have been working together to slay, but there's been some issues. Now it's Forrest to hunt him down. No more logic bombs remaining, just gun in hand. 1 minute to go. The more Forrest stays trying to deal with Dodes, the more work the two other players of OXG will have to do, especially with the clash on the board. Forrest wins the engagement, will immediately steal intel. This is a big opening for Oxygen.
Double his kill count, gets that Dokkaebi hack. That could be an absolutely critical kill to tilt this round in the favor of OXG. They've dropped the fuse kit outside of Bakery. It will need to be recovered at some point in this round, but with Palu still holding on to that part of the map, I'm not sure if they're going to have the ability to grab it. There we go, Yaga picking it up now. In the 1v1 with Palu, neither of them have teammates very nearby to trade this.
Palu knows somebody is still there. He sees that underbarrel red dot sight on the wall. Grix are taking a bit of damage, and they are running out of time. A walk on in. Palu easily dealing with that. He will have his work cut out for him now as it's a push in from the gridlock. Grix are on a single point of HP. Palu will need to clutch. Forrest does it instead. A beautiful 1v1 and a terrific round for OXG.
The 26-year-old from Tucson, Arizona, Forrest. What a round. I was so worried on that Dokkaebi when he didn't spot the flank from Dodes. He somewhat allowed his teammate to go down on the top floor for Gomez. But then once he's able to get that trade back, once he has full top floor control once again, he works his way down those main stairs, finds an angle into the bomb site, and with a sliver of time left, he's able to win that clutch. Don't forget, he had hacked the cameras, Parker, so that Bakery cam was being watched by the dead players on Oxygen. They had a ping on Palu that whole time. It's why Yaga felt so confident walking in Bake all by himself. Even if he wasn't able to win that duel, the trade was so fast and so clean from Forrest. He gets a triple kill in round 7, and he gives Oxygen a little bit of life on this second half.
And they need it. They really, really do need it. Adam doing okay. None of the players right now currently positive on the side of OXG, which really is quite striking given the scoreline. You'd figure 1 or 2 players would be there, but everybody not named Gomez have been somewhat active dealing with these players. Volp's going for a spawn peek now, 2 rounds in a row. Oh my goodness, he's so close. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's doing it to
They're
us.
both droning. One
Stay.
is Forrest, one is Adam.
Observer, listen to my words very carefully. I don't care what else is happening. I want to see what happens here. Stay here right now. Oh, and it pays off. Down goes Adam. Volp's patience rewarded. And my, that's the ying off the board. FLUXO W7M with a big opening pick.
Spent longer than 30 seconds holding that angle, Parker. I mean, most players will back off far before then.
What are you doing?
Dots caught the fuse shield on the scanner, but unfortunately the shield blocks almost all the damage from the nitro cell, so that's the one thing with Pulse, Parker. You might know who is there, or you might know if someone's there. You won't know who specifically it is. With the shield being on the other side of the window, there's not a lot you can do for it, but hey, they have still started themselves off so strongly on the side of FLUXO W7M. I think Oxygen wanted to go for a rush here. They've got the fuse, they've got the shield, they were supposed to have Adam on the Ying, but without those Candelas, they kind of have to adjust their plan, and now a top floor clear looks like the idea, but it's not going to be easy without proper utility.
Don't say it. Don't say the 2 words.
Don't say what? For a shield?
It's close enough. Fuse shield.
Ah.
I go into psychosis. I completely lose my mind. You know this.
Hey, he's found some success with it already today, looking to maybe make that 2 rounds now as he clears through this top floor. Everybody's given him some respect, too. They've started to fall back, not wanting to mess with the fuse shield that barrels down towards them.
Loban's got a big opening. And
all right, never mind.
Jesse, it's not getting better.
Maybe write this round off if you're OXG. The spawn peek didn't work. Forced by himself on the fuse shield isn't able to do much.
Nothing is really going here. Another flawless round for FLUXO W7M. Say it ain't so. Incredible go of it. They've already got 2 so far on this map. Gomez will not let that happen, but
no time.
What can he really do? 30 seconds to go. The Malusi still upstairs. Dota's breaking double digits for the 3rd map. All 3 maps. That is quite the tally. Gomez still, you have death marks. You have death marks.
Not sure it would have made a difference, Parker.
I think the big reason why is that he doesn't want to give his position away, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think that your opponents are well coordinated, if you use the death mark, they know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And when you're in a 1v4, that means you're getting intel on the 1, but that means that there are 4 players who know where you are, and they can very easily prep for that. So the death mark in that instance would work against you. Still could have tried it. 12 kills for Dodes here on map number 3. Again, quite the tally. Let's go all the way back to Nighthaven Labs. It was several hours ago. Dodes, 14-5, almost breaking a year-long streak of a high of EPS. Let's go to Border. It was about an hour ago. Dodes, 14-8. Now here on Kafe, 12-3. Those are just world beater numbers up against this OXG team. What do you even do?
And Parker, at the start of this match, at the start of Kafe, I said that it was going to come down to the 2 entry fraggers, Dodes versus Adam. Both have been heroes for their respective teams, but only one of them has shown up in a massive way, and that's, of course, been Dodes. Adam 5-7. He's still top fragging his squad. It's not his fault necessarily that they're losing, but because OXG so commonly relies on Adam to be that pop-off player, to play out of his mind as he has so many games before, it really does put them at a disadvantage when he can't put up those same numbers that we're used to seeing from him. A couple more rounds to get back in this game is far from over, but as FLUXO W7M load up on that bottom floor site, it will be Oxygen coming in with the same attacker lineup they used against Heretics earlier this day.
We're looking for an early pick through the window yet again. I mean, we saw Shaiko do this. We've seen many teams do this. SSG does this on this map. The one thing the devs have tried to fix when they've gone to Kafe is the ability to get to the building without getting shot. I mean, it's obviously a part of this game, and I know the community is actually quite divided as to whether this should be a thing. My personal opinion is that while I think spawn peaks are neat, I don't think they should be in the game. I think they should be working to make it so you can get to the building pretty safely.
Good map design should discourage it.
I think discouraging is the right way to put this. Dodes is spotted. They knew where he was. Kill number 13 as he fades away.
I mean, Gomez all alone, Parker. There's no hope for a trade as he's just clearing through bar all by himself. They have a shield. Forrest was up there. If they were able to trade, there'd be no trade back. Dodes was all by himself. Ugh, and even on the white stairs, the trade remains impossible for Oxygen.
Well, very smartly, they moved Palu to that position, so that'll negate any advantage Grixer had. Grixer, if his reflexes were a touch faster, could have potentially netted a kill onto Dodes, especially with how low Dodes' HP is. A single shot from that 417 would have almost certainly felled him.
Yeah.
Does not come to pass. There go the cluster charges. A longer life expectancy for Forrest in this round, but there's not a lot of time left. 1 minute to go. A deceptively quick round, and FLUXO W7M, if they prevail here, they do have the numbers advantage, will move to series point.
FLUXO will expect a freezer drop, and that's likely what we're going to see from Oxygen Esports. With Yaga on this Sens, they've got a couple different options where they could put the defuse kit down. Sinks is a strong option when you've got this Sens. Of course, chucked on the bomb chassis is what we saw previously with this operator being brought on this bomb site. They're trying to force something out of Sinks. There's no player position down there, as we can see with the silhouettes. Rice as well, a spot where they might need to worry about players inside of that site. But right now, it's just about, can you close up these floorboards? Can you find a way to manage to make these players move? The drop will come through from Forrest, and soon the plant will begin.
He's got coverage on white stairs, so that's good. That means it'll be a little bit tougher for Dots to get out of his position. Shield goes down. Palu waiting for the move. Nitro Cell goes out from Dots. Again, he might be paralyzed in this position. ROU projector can go up at any point in time to conceal this plant, but he's running out of time. 5 seconds left, 8 players still alive. You've got to go if you're OXG. You have completely lost control of the clock. You've lost the round now with it. Series point for W7M's former team, now playing under the brand of FLUXO. And you know, FLUXO is an organization that has been around for a while. They might have won a major under W7M, but there's a new sheriff in town, and you best know FLUXO wants something to add to their trophy case.
Things are falling off the rails and fast, Parker. These attacks have not been what Oxygen have needed. One last chance to tilt the momentum in their favor. They will do it by banning the Clash. It's been good for FLUXO, don't get me wrong. They've been running a lot of clashes on these defenses. I don't mind the ban at all. Played twice now by Apollo in rounds 7 and 9. But it's going to take a lot more than that. Back-to-back defensive round wins to come through from FLUXO W7M. The clock, a big problem for Oxygen. And the Fuse Shield, not finding any success across 2 rounds. You start to wonder, what's the next strategy? What's the next game plan? When you've already been playing not only an extremely long series here against FLUXO W7M, but also had a very long 2-map best-of-3 to start the day up against Heretics. And you combine all that with the fact that you've now played Kafe twice in one day. You have already shown so many of your strategies. How deep is the tank? How many more strats do you have to pull out to try to catch FLUXO off guard? And if that wasn't hard enough, you've got to do it back to back to back. So for Oxygen, everything is relying on this. It seems like an impossible task, but they have to do it now.
4 matches will be played tomorrow, 2 in the upper bracket, 2 in the lower bracket, where 2 more teams will go home. From top 8 to top 6 we will go, and those 6 teams will do battle on Friday in front of a live audience here in Paris. Once again, upper bracket semifinals. The North American team of Wildcard will go up against FaZe Clan tomorrow, and you've got Furia and Team Falcons also squaring off, as Furia team has found new life, and Falcons obviously wanting to win the hammer on quote-unquote home soil. Space Station and Weibo Gaming won their matchups earlier today, so they are awaiting the winners of the 2 remaining games. Here, obviously, on this stream, FLUXO W7M poised to go up against Space Station tomorrow. Not certain, but looking likely. And over on the A stream, Team Secret and G2 are battling. The loser of that goes home. The winner will play Weibo tomorrow. Those will be exciting matchups. You and I are off, but I will be watching them with keen interest.
My thoughts go to Newers on SSG, probably hoping he gets another shot to take down his former organization of OXG, but it's not looking likely at this point. Still 3 rounds to go in order to clutch this one into overtime, and then they've got to win there as well. Reading is the bomb site, and Oxygen were successful here in the past. Obviously, we've seen some stalls happening coming out from both teams, but particularly when W7M were attacking on this site, it looked like they were really struggling with the clock. I fear something similar could be happening. We're just starting to open up the castle barricade on the cigar door, Parker, at 90 seconds deep into this round. The Goyo will delay even more time stalling us out through the top clear. And the majority of players for FLUXO W7M, Loban, Volps, and Dodez all remain on the top floor hold.
And really the story for Oxygen will be the lack of prowess on their attacks. It sunk them, or well, almost sunk them on border. Let's correct our language here.
Yes.
And it is now the big issue on Kafe. Most of the maps in the map pool skew towards the defender, so you've got to be a little bit sharper. Gomez was the reason why we have Kafe, and now might be one of the big reasons why FLUXO W7M takes this map. He goes 3 and 10 as he swings on in. Cannon fodder effectively for FLUXO as they look to lock this one out. Time now starting to tick away. This run from OXG. They've always finished top 8, but at the hands of Volps, that just might end. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Oxygen with 1 kill so far. Grixer with the reload. He and Forrest will need to work this together. Grixer taking some serious damage now, backing away as he's taken. Forrest with the fuse kit. Grixer managing to stay alive.
Oh.
He takes down Volps. They need to translate towards the bomb site. They've got top floor control, but they might as well be miles away, Jesse. They will have to drop a potentially dead drop as down goes Grixer, and now Forrest, the former IGL, will perish at the hands of Loban. FLUXO W7M will move up the lower bracket. Oxygen are sadly done. No more top 8 streak for the North American squad. Their Cinderella-esque run from the LCQ all the way to the top 12 is all they're going to get. An impressive attempt, but ultimately just not enough.
The group stage repeats itself. A 2-1 victory for FLUXO W7M will mount itself once more against OXG, and this time, for the final time, they are eliminated now from SI. They were heartbroken, Parker. W7M, when they lost the Munich Major, they failed to make main stage. They failed to make top 8. They are one best of 3 away from playing in front of the crowd once again. They thrive in that environment. They love the pressure when it comes to it. And they're going to have a banger game against SSG coming up tomorrow.
I am so excited. I love casting games, but I'm also just a fan at heart. So we get to see some terrific matches as we look for a conclusion. They made me take the hat off, by the way. I apologize for my hair, but they told me to take the hat off. I was going to put the hat back on. Here are the stats. The numbers, not very good for OXG. When you only win 3 rounds, I suspect that's what's going to happen.
And can we say Dota's 2 maps in this series above 150 EPS? He again barely fails to beat his seasonal high of 166 in a single map. Comes so close twice, but records or not, he's got to be feeling good about how well he played. There's no doubt who the MVP is of this series, Parker. Dodez took over map number 1, and in map 3 was the best player by far too.
14 kills in every single map. That is incredible. Mr. Consistency, 42 kills total across the series. And I mean, styling, high flying, profiling, just about everything you could ask. The players outside of Dots have all been getting so many frags on this team. And we often talk about the 3 points of the spear. There are 4 right now, and that is scary for a lot of their opponents.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Dodez, former MVP at the Montreal Major, looking to repeat now at the Six Invitational. That would be a hell of a story for one of Siege's newest fraggers over the last couple of years. Has been looking so